have picked up some valuable lessons for this. So, Dr. Obinyako and Dr. Derry, thank you for joining us this morning. So, we'll start with our basic questions. What's a refractive error?
Okay, when you talk about refractive error, you are simply talking about a condition in the eye that makes it difficult for someone to focus light on his retina. The retina is simply the light-sensitive layer at the back of the eye where light focuses. So if you cannot focus light clearly at the back of your eye, it will make it difficult for you to see. That's basically what refractive error means.
I'm sure we'll be seeing the picture of the eye very soon. Then we'll have a fair idea exactly where the retina is placed and how the difficulty, we will be able to trace the difficulties. But as we go on, so this is outside the eye. The eye as we see it when you look at somebody's face. Can we see the retina from this shot, Doc?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Actually, when you look at someone just straight ahead, it's difficult. You cannot see the retina. It's inside. So there's a layer that is way inside. Through that middle black that we see on the screen, that middle black is called the pupil. Back to the very back of the eye. It's actually at the back wall of the eye. That's where the light-sensitive tissue is. You know, when light, before we see, light has to actually strike an object and then reflect off that object. It comes with information from that object and then goes through the pupil that I have just described, the middle of the eye. Then when it enters around that place, there has to be something that we call refraction. Refraction simply means the change in direction or the bending of light. For example, if you have a bowl or a bucket of water, you put a stick or a spoon in it, you realize that it appears curved. That same thing happens in the eye. That is refraction. And it's important for the focusing of light at the back of the eye. So when light enters the eye, it has to be refracted and then come to a sharp focus. All the rays have to come to a sharp focus at this retina that I'm talking about.
It's the refraction I want to understand. You see, when you say it has to be refracted, it means what?
Okay, so when we talk about refraction, we are talking about light moving from one area or one space of different optical property or density into another. So if it's moving from air through a medium into water, we expect that light to bend. That's why when you drop a coin in a bucket, you realize that the coin is appearing a little elevated or closer to you. So that process is called refraction because light moves from air through a medium into another area of different thickness. Air and water are not of the same thickness. So once it's moving in that direction, meeting a structure and it's being bent, then we are going through a process of refraction.
Okay, so now we're seeing a certain image on our screen.
Yes.
So, help us understand it using the colors. So we are seeing an outer yellow, what appears to be an outer yellow part of the eye. What are we looking at?
All right, so before the eye can see, using this particular diagram of the eye, light must first bounce off the environment and enter the eye through the orange structure in front of it called the cornea. So the cornea is that transparent layer in front of the black or the brown of the eye, what we call the color of the eye. In this diagram, we would see it as the red. So when you are looking at anybody's eye, you would see the red area, which is the iris. Okay, and not the cornea. But then if you pay attention, you would see a glassy structure in front of it. So light enters the eye through that one, and that one bends, the orange one bends the light into the middle of the red. Now, the middle of the red will allow light to pass through. Now, if the amount of light is too much, what happens to the middle of the red is that it becomes small. But if the amount of light is little, the middle of the red becomes big to allow more light to enter for a clearer image. Now, when it passes through that middle of the red, it goes into that violet area. And that violet area also has to bend it further through that process of refraction for it to hit the mauve area. And the mauve area is what we call the retina. It is at this point that you can see a clear image. That is when all the light that has entered through the orange, gone through the middle of the red, and then through the violet, and goes onto the mauve, then you can see clearly. If there's no problem from the eye to the brain. You can see that the mauve has a tail. That tail is going straight into the brain, and the brain will tell us exactly what you are seeing.
Looking at.
So anybody who has a refractive error will probably have a situation where the light is not hitting the mauve area. It's either meeting in front of the mauve area or behind the mauve area or at different points of the mauve area. Then we say the person has a refractive error. Yeah.
It's fascinating. So when there's an error, obviously you ask yourself, what did I do to cause this? Is it something you are born with, or is it something that you grow into and you inherit as you grow older?
Okay, when we look at the causes of refractive error, what we traditionally say is that we look at the length of the eye. If the eyeball length itself is longer than it should be, Dr. Obenya could describe the process through which light is refracted. All these are in certain measured positions. So if these structures are not in the right positions, then light will not focus where it should. So if the eyeball is longer or shorter, then the light that is supposed to focus at the very back of the eye or the retina may not reach or may go over where it should. That is one thing that can cause a refractive error. The second thing, if you look at that same image, around where the red was, there was a violet round of the lens. If the strength of the eye around that area, the structures around that area, we call the accommodative system, if the strength of the eye is not enough or is too much, such that it bends the light too much or too little, you can also have the refractive error. Also, when you look at the front surface, the glassy structure in the very front that we don't see, but we see the color of the eye, the cornea, you would realize that it has this very uniform curvature, or should have a uniform curvature, like a ball or a watermelon or orange that is cut into half. It has this uniform curvature. But if the curvature is irregular or not very well rounded, spherical, like you have the ball, it would be like an egg or a more irregular surface, then the light is not able to focus at the back. These are the main things that cause refractive error, although there are other risk factors or conditions that can bring out a refractive error.
Okay, so let's talk about what those risk factors are. During COVID, the term comorbidities became very, very common. So are there things that predispose someone to having a refractive error?
Yes. So now when we talk about risk factors for refractive errors, there are many things that could actually put you at risk of having a refractive error. One, if you come from a family where a lot of them are having issues with seeing at far or near, or have images being formed in a distorted way. So the
sounds like you're calling my name, but go on.
So the first thing is a family history or genetics. Okay. Now, race is also a factor. There are some races where they have short-sightedness. Like if you look at the Asians, you would realize that a lot of them are wearing glasses because they relatively have longer eyeballs, causing them to have refractive errors. Some eye conditions may also predispose you to refractive errors. For instance, if you have a cataract, you could have a refractive error being or happening because of the cataract, because the refractive state of the eye has changed due to that particular condition. So that would be a comorbidity of the cataract. Some medical conditions could also predispose you to refractive error. Some include diabetes. So you would realize that there are some people, when their sugar levels rise, then they start complaining of not seeing very well. And those are some of the risk factors. But there's one interesting one that they've been talking about lately. They tend to compare kids raised in villages as compared to kids raised in cities. And kids raised in villages tend to have less refractive errors than those raised in cities. So they are tending to say that kids in cities tend to do a lot of reading and then work on tablets. So that's an acquired form of refractive error, where it's caused by the use of tablets, and reading materials and all that, screen time. While the kids in the villages, they tend to play outdoors a lot. So they don't tend to have a lot of these refractive errors. So that's another factor, the environmental factor, which gives an acquired form of a refractive error. And that's also a risk factor.
I was waiting for you to say about how, sometimes people want to look smart, so they just wear glasses. But that's not a cause for wearing that. But that's okay. So how does having a refractive error affect people's daily lives? I've lived it personally, but from the medical perspective, what are some of the ways that this can affect a person? So
we'll look at it in 3 different ways.
Okay.
We'll look at it in terms of how it affects people at work.
Okay.
And then we'll look at it at how it affects people in school. And we'll look at it also as to how it affects people when they are doing activities of daily living. So at work,
school, and what?
Activities of daily living.
Okay.
That's things that you do on a daily to enjoy yourself, to be able to go about life. So when we look at it in terms of work, we are looking at increased risk of errors. You can imagine if you are not seeing well and you have to be typing stuff on your screens, you'll be making a lot of mistakes. You get it? So we are talking about increased risk of errors. We are talking about reduced productivity. Because when you are making mistakes, definitely productivity is being reduced. A research was done in India that confirmed this amongst the cotton pickers who were above 40. They realized that those people above 40 who were not wearing glasses were picking and making an amount of $37 a day.
Okay.
Because they couldn't see things that were close to them. And everybody above 40 has that kind of error, which causes you not to see things that are close to them. And then they gave another group in that same cotton pickers group glasses to help them to see things that near. And they realized that those ones who had the glasses were picking at a value of $47 averagely in a day, as compared to those who did not wear glasses.
$10
yes.
difference. Wow.
That's a huge difference. Yeah. That's the productivity we are talking about. And then refractive errors can also exclude people from certain professions. For instance, piloting, for instance, in the military, some people may be excluded just because of the kind of refractive errors that they have, because these are people who have to put a lot of people
to be able to pilot a plane.
Yes, and they put a lot of people's lives in their care. So in that case, they need to have an optimum amount of vision that helps them to be able to carry out their duties. And then people with refractive errors have low self-esteem.
Do they?
Yes.
Why is that?
Take a look at this. Everyone in class, for example, in a classroom setting, they are teaching on the board and you are not able to see. When they are asking questions, you are unable to participate. If you are not careful, you may think that you are not good enough. That's one. Also, there's also this perception of, say, unfriendliness for some people who have refractive error. Have you ever greeted someone or waved at someone who seems to be looking in your direction but doesn't wave back? You'd wonder, why is he not waving me? You know, so that will give that perception that the person is unfriendly. Meanwhile, the person genuinely did not see you, and it is not his fault that he did not wave back. So these things can actually affect the person's self-esteem with even certain simple tasks that they are supposed to perform. Say reading in church or reading in public. Imagine that you cannot see and you keep making mistakes over simple words that you easily mention. Or some will have to use their hands to trace what they are reading so that they don't miss the lines. All those things affect, the self-esteem of the person.
Now that you're saying it, I'm realizing how it can affect you. But when he said low self-esteem, I'm wondering, what has that got to do with your eyes? But you can understand how people would feel a bit uncomfortable. So yeah, that's one way definitely that you'd feel an effect. So this is all in the school or work environment.
That's in the work environment.
Okay.
Now let's talk about when people are in school.
Okay.
Refractive errors can exclude you from pursuing certain academic programs. We talked about piloting, right?
Yeah.
Yes. We talked about military. Do you get it? So if you have a refractive error, just because you have a refractive error, you could go through the schooling, but then it would get to a point that you will not be able to pursue the profession because you'll be cut off at the point of entry into the profession just because you failed that eye test that would have made you pass that particular exam. Then there's also poor academic performance. Because you can't see well from the board, you tend to end up copying from your other mates what they are seeing on the board. You could be making mistakes because they probably have copied the wrong things. You are not seeing well, so you are not able to read well. That could also affect your performance in school. So that relates to the poor academic performance. And there are some people who find it difficult reading, and just because they are finding it difficult reading, they have poor or short attention spans.
They get
read
bored
a little,
very
yes, they get
easily.
bored, they just take their eyes off it and try to do something else because they've lost interest in exactly what they are doing. And that can also affect academic work. Then there's the perception of intelligence, which is good.
Yeah. You have a nerdy look.
Yes, just because you are wearing glasses, everybody thinks that, this guy is good. This guy is good. So that's the good side
of... That was the perception when I was growing up. So we kind of liked it. We'll put the little string at the back.
Yeah.
So that we walk around with our shoulders just slightly higher than normal people. And
then again, low self-esteem comes in here again. He explained it, so you will understand what the low self-esteem is. Now, let's look at activities of daily living. Exclusion from some hobbies. There are some sports you just can't do because you can't see well.
Some sports?
Yes. Think about archery.
Football?
No, think about archery.
Football?
Even football.
Yes, let's talk about football. Do you remember this footballer, Edgar Davids? He used to play for Tottenham and then Netherlands.
Okay.
He always had some kind of glasses on. It was because he had a refractive error. So he needed to see well. So he wore his glasses. Even some footballers wear contact lenses when they are playing football.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there are ways... Sorry, you wanted to add something.
I was just going to say, imagine a goalkeeper who cannot see balls that are coming from far.
Like if it was a Barca keeper, I would say that they should sack him. You go make the people score we.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you're already talking about interventions, and we'll be quickly getting out of here. But there are ways to get around it. Tell us about some of the corrective measures that can be put in place to help people who are in this condition.
Basically, we categorize these into two groups, where we have the optical corrections and the surgical correction or intervention. And before I go on, let me quickly make a disclaimer on the word correction. There are many people who have told us in the consulting room that, doctor, I was given these glasses. I thought it would correct my eyes, but I have worn them.
Every time I go, I started from 0 point something. Now I'm at 2 point something. I'm wondering, are you fixing this or making it worse?
Yeah, that's a common question. So before I delve into it, the correction here is a technical term that we use. It means that we are correcting the error of refraction, which we just explained earlier. Where we are correcting the pathway of light, the bending. If the light is not bending properly, the glasses help to bend it properly. So that is what the glasses do to help you to see. So the first stage, we have the optical correction. The commonest that we have is the eyeglasses, the beautiful ones that you're wearing right now. Yeah, so glasses can correct and help you to see. Then we also have contact lenses. Some people don't know contact lenses even in this part of the world. The contact lenses are those that we just put directly on the eyeball to enable you to see. Most contact lenses will be transparent, and it may be difficult for you to see someone, to notice that someone is wearing contacts. For those who don't know, these are the ones that the ladies use at the weddings for
the cat eyes.
Yes, to get the green.
It confuses you. Hey, speak for yourself. Some people get very... people have other reactions, basically.
Yes. So those ones are colored to give a cosmetic appeal. So they could be prescription or just for aesthetic reasons. So we have the spectacle intervention, contact lens intervention. And then we have the surgical intervention that we can do. There is a surgery, for example, LASIK, a laser surgery, where we can reshape the front of your eye. It's called the cornea.
Is that done in Ghana?
Yes, it is.
What's the cost? What are the cost implications?
It's not as cheap as the glasses, but it's very effective. When you do this surgery, you will not need glasses.
Or contact lenses.
If you do the surgery, you just put your glasses away and you can see with
and my contacts, because I think the cost also rises based on whether you're doing the glasses, the contact lenses, or the surgery, right?
Yes, there are price variations. There are several factors that will affect the pricing. Apart from the LASIK surgery I'm mentioning, in some places in Ghana, you won't really hear this a lot, but we have lens implants that could be done.
Okay.
However, in cases like cataract, which is common in Ghana, where you have the refractive state of the eye changing due to the cataract formation, when we take out the cataract, we can do some correction with a lens implant as well, so that it corrects the refractive error. That's possible.
So eye drops will not help with a refractive error?
It's not, let me say, a mainstay solution. There are some eye drops that can give a temporary help for you to see, but not a mainstay as an intervention.
Before we scoot, how can people reach you? Ghana Optometrist Association, how can people get in touch with you?
Well, people can get in touch with Ghana Optometric Association by just calling our number. That is 0266 462080.
4620?
0266 462080. And then Ghana Optometric Association, in celebrating this week, is actually pursuing education. Like we are here today talking about refractive errors. We are doing that on social media as well. And then on Friday, we'll be having a seminar at UCC where we'll be educating the public on refractive error and its impact on nation building and national development. So we'll be doing this on Friday at University of Cape Coast at the graduate lecture hall, and we invite the general public to come and get educated. There are free eye screenings also going on in many hospitals around the country. In Accra, there are hospitals like Total Vision, My Eye Doctor. There's one at Fise. There's also in Cape Coast, we are looking at APT. We are looking at Frederick. There are so many clinics doing free eye exams all around. So just walk into a clinic run by an optometrist and you can ask for a free eye exam and it would be granted you, provided they are doing it.
Gentlemen.
Refractive errors are real, and most people above the age of 40 tend to have that error where they struggle to read.
But it can be corrected.
Yes,
so people
with glasses, they can just come and then they will see again.
Thank you so much for sitting with us this morning, gentlemen. Dr. Augustine Derry is an optometrist and eye health educator, a member of the Ghana Optometric Association, and Dr. Kwame Obinyako is also an optometrist and public relations officer for the Ghana Optometric Association, here discussing refractive errors this week. And on Friday, they will be at the University of Cape Coast for a seminar on refractive error. Go to the graduate lecture hall and join the campaign there. It's at 10 a.m. You can get free eye screening ongoing across several centers this week. Reach the Ghana Optometric Association on 0266 462080 and get your eyes checked. And if you're paying to see all the people around you like I am, then you know that we're a special breed of people. So here's to all my spectacle-wearing friends out there from the BFS Clinic. We'll be back after this break with some bits of gossip and spice from the social media corner. We'll be back. Stay with us.
Now, how are you? Let us know. Our socials 055-556-1034. That's our WhatsApp, and we are streaming live on Facebook at GTV Ghana. So there's been so much that's going on social media, and we are picking a couple here at the SMC. We are starting with the cleanup exercise yesterday. So yesterday, the government led the cleanup exercise towards the Homowo, the celebration of the Homowo festival by the Gans. And so these are sights and scenes from the cleanup exercise yesterday across Accra. Okay, there's some notable people. And so in the shots there, we've seen the mayor of Accra, we've seen the Gamanche, we've seen some notable personalities leading this campaign. And so this happened yesterday. GBC Digital covered these. Where's the Gamanche's palace? Where? Okay, so there's a video we put together of the Gamanche actually leading the campaign. So what you saw earlier were pictures. Here's the video. Enjoy. Taki Teko Churu II leading the campaign in parts of Accra. So the activities leading up to the Homowo Festival has already started. So Aduma, that was when there was the ban on drumming and noise making, Aduma, and that has been lifted. And so the climax, which is when we see the Kpokpoe and all of that, is in the middle of August. And so this happened yesterday in parts of Accra. To our next trend. So you know how we are like, for me, when I go to buy a sponge, I look for like the one that's really, really hard, because I believe like I really need to get everything off my skin. So here there's a doctor on social media. He's a proper doctor, and he gives tips. So watch this video and let us know what your thoughts are on the usage of sponge. Not SpongeBob, by the way. Sponge. Kocha.
To advise you people on this one.
Thank you for saying.
Your body does not actually need a sponge.
Apostle, we hear of this.
I know, yes, you have gotten used to it since the day you were born. It's as a matter of fact, they were born safe. It was sponge that they used to do induction. You need to understand that if you're scrubbing your skin too vigorously, especially with this type of sponges, what you're doing is that you're tearing your skin in ways that you cannot even see. It's called micro tears. And when you cause those micro tears, it can introduce microorganisms into your skin, and before you know what's happening, skin infection. Another thing that's happening is your skin has natural oils. When you scrub too vigorously with this type of things, what you are doing is that you are stripping yourself of those natural oils. And if you're the kind of person that once you take your bath like this, your body will start scratching you, try and remove the sponge and then thank me later.
True, this guy got a point.
If you're working mechanic and your body is visibly dirty, yes, of course, you used to work inside gutter, you come out, you do mechanic, it's very obvious that you work in visibly dirty environment. Voila. This might help, but make sure it's soft and ensure that you don't use it every day of the week. Sometimes just use the normal soap and then, use your hand. Have you ever seen soap adverts where they are using sponge? Think about it. But you in your house, you are sandpapering your skin.
Haven't you done enough?
Yes. Do not scrub so hard. Now, actually, yes, bringing up. Have you ever seen a soap advert that they are using sponge? I've never seen it. If you have, let us know. Like, just remind us or send us a link to that particular advert. Our WhatsApp is 055-5561034. Keep scrubbing. Don't scrub. So thank you very much. That's Aproko Doctor across social media. You can follow him for more health tips. To our next trend. So yesterday, around the hours of between 10 and 11 across social media. So there was the news that Chef Smith had been given the green light by the Guinness World Records. And so there was excitement and there was a press conference. So this is Chef Smith, and the press conference says unveiling the new World Cookathon record holder, Millennium Chef Smith from Ghana, with an incredible 802 hours, 25 minutes to dethrone Irish King Alan Fisher. And so across social media, there was a frenzy. People were sharing the happy news. And this is the certificate, the alleged certificate, people, for the longest cooking marathon individual is 802 hours, 25 minutes, and was achieved by Ebenezer Smith, Ghanaian, in Spintex, Accra, Ghana, from 1st February to 6th March 2024. Officially amazing. So, we headed over, media people, everybody was agog with the news, we're happy. We headed over to the press conference where Chef Smith would have made his announcement. And then during this press conference, there was a little disruption from from the entrance. And so when media men turned, they saw security personnel walking. And then there was, the normal rumors going on. And then they said Chef Smith had to be arrested, detained, taken to the police station. And so, as usual as it is of us, we jumped. And then everyone oh, it's a fraud, it's fraudulent. And then people started reviewing his cookathon. Some were saying that 802 hours without any mistakes. So people started raising questions. Here are some scenes from the cookathon, by the way. And so now, news hit that he had been arrested. And so we tried to find out why. Because we thought it was because of the Guinness World Records. Mind you, we headed over to the Guinness World Records social media. There was nothing there. If they are yet to put that up, but there was nothing there. And so it came out that apparently, so there was a guy from Hits FM. Shout outs to you, Mekri and your team. And so the Hits FM reporter was actually there, and this video was making the round. So thank you, Hits FM, for this, Mekri for this. We are hoping you are okay. So guys, take a listen. We are bringing you all the perspectives. Take a listen to this.
We just heard some few, commotion. So we were all confused.
Right.
We were confused. So
this is during the press soiree yes.
The press conference.
Right.
So all of a sudden, the management team were just, pressuring us to just get out from the room.
They say for move.
For move. And Chef Smith has to, leave there. And we're like, what's happening? We have to interview him. What's going on? We got out just to realize there were police and soldiers there.
Hey,
the whole building was locked.
La Palm.
Wow. And I saw Nana Boro. So I asked, what's happening? Then they said Nana Boro is...
So you asked whether Nana Boro was coming to perform for you guys, right?
So I asked them, they were like, Nana Boro is saying he was his management. And now he has dropped him and taking another management. So it's like a breach of contract and he's there to arrest him.
Hey, what?
He's there to arrest him.
Chef Smith.
He's there to arrest him. And we were all surprised because we were like, this is a good news. Why are you turning everything?
So what did they do to you? Because we are hearing some beatings then things. What happened?
When the police and soldiers came, as a journalist, I have to do my work.
Yeah.
So I took out my phone to video. All of a sudden, I just saw this soldier guy coming towards me like with soldiers phone and
military walk.
He came, my friend, bring your phone. Hey! He just took the phone out of my hands, went to pictures, deleted like the videos I had and the pictures.
The videos of the press conference that you had taken and everything. Deleted the whole...
Deleted everything. Then he gave it to me back.
And you also mentioned that some other reports that you had done had been deleted.
All those videos.
All those videos were
I know you were working on these things on Winneba, Kaswa Road and all that, yes.
All the videos and pictures were cleared. Then he gave me back my phone and was like, go to recycle bin.
What?
Yes. So he went to recycle bin to delete everything. Then he gave my phone back to me.
And deleted the phone.
As I was putting the phone in my pocket, one I'm a test to
then you started seeing stars.
Oh yeah.
He slapped you?
He didn't slap me, like my forehead. My tiko.
He gave it to you. Military hit.
Just imagine military palm and a military hands hitting you.
Wow.
Like 2 times. So all the other journalists were like, oh Charlie, what's going on?
And Nana Boro was there.
Nana Boro had
brought this man.
He had left, but the soldiers and police were there. So as soon as that soldier approached me, the other police, they all came around. I don't know
what happened to... Where was Chef Smith at this point?
Nowhere to be found. I have no idea. Nowhere to be found. Because, as I said earlier, when we were there to interview him, they were like, hurry up, we have to go. They can't come here and arrest you. Like, So I don't know where they took him by.
Wow.
He was nowhere to be found.
So how sure are we that Nana Boro was responsible for this?
Because he was the one leading the soldiers and police.
Okay. So he was leading. This is very unfortunate. And I don't know why Nana Boro puts himself in such a position. He's, an artist that I have a lot of reverence for.
Exactly.
And I wonder why he would stoop so low. If you have a contract with a person, per the narration we are getting, and the contract's been breached, this is not what to resort to.
There's law.
Go to the courts and resolve it. This is breach of contract. We don't use brute force. Look at what you've done to our journalist. He's been slapped.
And one thing that actually shocked me, and I'm still thinking about it, is the police and soldiers that came. In fact, the soldier that I saw, the one that hit me, he had no name tag.
There were no name tags.
No name tag.
This is Hits.
Thank you, Mercury K, and your team for that. We hope the journalist is okay. He received a military slap, he calls it. So here's another perspective. So apparently, Nana Boro, who happened to be the former manager, there were some issues about money in there, and so that's why he was taken to the police station, and not because of a false or fraudulent Guinness World Record attempt. But then here is a video where a phone call to his manager, we forget his name, it starts with a J, Jenkins, something like that, but his manager is explaining what happened with the Guinness World Record and that supposed email. So it's coming to you now. Take a listen.
The record is fake.
So there's rumor going out that what?
It's a fake record, like it's forged.
If it is not fake, one of them is not fake. Guinness sent us an email. What we know that when you apply, ask anybody, or you can find out anyone who applied to attempt this whole marathon thing. It is true. We have the regular and we have the premium also. So depending on which one you apply, we apply the regular, and the regular the rule is that they will not make the announcement public. They will send it to you privately in your email. So that is what we did. So we send the communication to us in our email, Chef Smith email, announcing that he's now the new record holder. So if anybody feels that it is not true, they can authenticate or they can find out. I mean, that is it. We have certificates from Guinness to prove what we are saying. So if anybody think otherwise, let them do the honorable thing. And
so is it on the official page?
Yeah.
Is it on the official site, the website?
Yeah. The official page is sent us. We have the Guinness logo, everything. We have the official page. They have the certificate, everything. So if they think otherwise, they should find out.
Thank you again, Dr. Pounds, Hits FM, for that. And so this is the manager's bit. So we are hoping that maybe by the close of today or by tomorrow, would have a clear statement from Chef Smith's team, his management team. And so this is it as it stands now. The hashtag is GTV Breakfast. We are monitoring what's going to happen. We'll bring it to you as it happens. To our last trend of the day. So we are calling this the flashback. Which of these do you remember? Please let us know via our socials. We'll be mentioning your name and which ones you remember. Which ones do you remember? Ahomka ginger, PK, robot bubble gum, milk toffee. Which of these do you remember? We're taking you way back into time. How about this? What do you think is happening here? Is it someone's birthday, a Dada B's birthday, you know? This would only be a Dada B's birthday or an our day. I remember these decks, man. And then people, before Pinterest and the rise of social media and Instagram and looking at IG models, this was the ish. If your designer or your tailor didn't have this in their shop, nah, on kahubi. So this is it, people. Let us know. We're throwing it back. This is it for us on SMC. So, people, this is how we sign out of the social media corner. We are active, though, everywhere. We are waiting for your responses. We are interactive. See you after the break.
Studio One, this is the Breakfast Show. Live from GBC Studio 1, this is The Breakfast Show.
Are you looking for the perfect tune to match your vibe? Welcome to Virtual Sound Lab, the heart of sound. From guitars to keyboards, drums to DJ equipment, we've got it all. Unleash your creativity and express yourself through music with our expertly curated collection. Whether you're a seasoned musician or just starting out, discover your sound at Virtual Sound Lab. At Virtual Sound Lab, our after-sales service is second to none. Whether it's a minor adjustment or a major repair, our expert technicians are here to ensure your musical journey
excellent.
Twice. Yes, it was so. Headlines. God is great. We love the rain. Okay.
Daily Graphic, achieving the SDGs, extend debt relief to Africa. President Akufo-Addo tells development partners.
Irregularities decline in latest Auditor General's reports. Okay.
Ambulances were not fit for purpose because Jakba. The story is on page 13.
And GBC rolls out digital media structure.
Okay, Stanchart post 1.3 billion Ghana cedis profit before tax.
Okay, that's your daily graphic this beautiful wet Wednesday morning.
Wet Wednesday morning. Daily Guide says 2.37 million euro ambulances not fit for purpose, Jakba admits.
NDC MPs boycott vetting.
EC reopens transfer of votes.
Ghana government launches 1.5 million CD hydro fund. And the last one, SDGs?
SDGs Action Summit. Nana pushes for more youth investments.
Okay, that's your daily guide. Some cement business, cement is in the news.
Charlie,
yeah, I was also asking how much you get your cement for wherever you are. Send them quickly to us on our board 055-556-1034. Cement prices.
Yeah, okay. The new finder. 1.5 million Ghana cedis allocated to hydrological fund as seed money to mitigating flood risk, improving water management.
Prosecution of persons behind financial sector mess too slow, says Dr. Addison, boss at the Bank of Ghana.
Okay, President outlines 4-point agenda to accelerate SDGs implementation.
We have a strike that has been declared by Clog SAG.
Okay.
It's nationwide.
And then experts stress strict fiscal discipline to support economic recovery.
There you go. New finder. All right.
Okay, at Dispatch was really read. Baumia had settled on Opoku Prempeh as running mate before 2023 MPP press primaries. Aid is saying so.
Okay, there's more on that. As running mate, Opoku Prempeh brings more advantage to MPP's ticket, says Che Mensah Bonsu, who used to be majority leader in Parliament.
Countdown to elections, maintain strict neutrality. Defense Minister to Ghana's military.
Okay, that's your daily dispatch right there this morning. Okay. Yes.
Chronicle. Local government ministry introduces safety measures at 6 intersections in Accra.
MPP executives at Sabronum threaten Aluta over pollution of creek serving community by illegal miners, aka Galamseyers.
Right. Kojo Oponkroma, Minister for Works and Housing, launches Hydro Fund to mitigate flood risks.
Ebo Kwanzaa on page 14 is remembering the callous murder of judges and an army officer, Geraldings, died with hands dripping of blood. That's an Ebo Kwanzaa feature inside there. And our verse today is from Psalm 137, verse 1. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down and wept when we remembered Zion. Bonnie, that's where they got it from. Yeah, by the rivers of Babylon. Nice. And there's a river there that has been polluted.
Yeah.
Chronicle, they
get it, man.
we love them. All right, that's your Chronicle.
Right. The Ghanaian Observer is saying Akufo-Addo highlights critical challenges at 2024 SDGs Action Summit.
Government chair and ministers, as well as Accra Mayor, lead the charge to restore Accra's cleanliness.
Right, the story on the
Hydro Fund.
Yeah, the Hydro Fund is here.
So,
urban mobility and accessibility challenges. Local government minister calls for stakeholder collaboration.
And the Electoral Commission agrees to the National Union of Ghana Students' proposal to set up voter transfer centers on campuses.
That's great.
Okay, good one there.
Yeah.
Accessibility. Ghanaian Observer. Yep. The publisher. Okay.
Government sets up hydrological fund to address drainage, dredging challenges.
Okay. Government chair in a royal coolie high. Yep.
So cool.
I like the smoke and the white shirt thing. Cleaning up Accra. Good job there.
Yeah. Finance Minister slams minorities' unpatriotic conduct.
And financing gap is a threat to Africa's sustainable development goals, says the president.
Okay.
New Crusading Guide.
2.37 million euros financial loss trial. First 10 ambulances were only meant to be packed.
President Akufo-Addo's 4-point agenda to accelerate SDGs implementation is on page 10.
Right. Ministry of Health workers demand shake-up as saboteurs surround minister.
Okay. Road safety improvement measures introduced. We're still on our road safety stuff. We'll be going out again around 8:30 this morning, so you check it out.
Great. Keeping Accra clean. Gamanche, Mayor, lead onslaught against filth. There he is in his royal coolie hike.
Electoral Commission to reopen applications for vote transfer. Universities, prisons, and media all involved. All righty.
Right.
And then the Hydro Fund.
Yes, the Hydro Fund is up there. Yeah.
Okay. What else? In the Sarkodie voice. What else?
What else?
All right. Okay. So Charlie, so we will see you.
Yeah,
what's happening at the end of the station?
So I'm going to the theatres. I'm speaking to Mr. Finn.
Okay.
So he's a movie producer, but he has a really different perspective on things and how the industry should work. So it's a conversation we're looking forward to.
Okay. We've got some fans in Dansuma who like it when we do the face bump and then we disappear. So this is for them.
Hasta la vista,
baby. All righty. Bye-bye. See you. Headlines coming up. You're watching GTV Breakfast. I'm still asking about the price of cement in your area. So let me know. Tell me where you live or where you buy cement and give me the price, okay? And the type of cement too. You have 32.5 and all kinds. Brand of cement, how much it costs, and the area that you live, okay? I want to know. I want to get all those details. Let's have a conversation around cement and building and all that stuff. It's time for the headlines. By the way, our WhatsApp number is 055-556-1034. My guest is the sole ranger right here with me, Richard Manuribe. He's a member of the National Communication Team for the NDC. We are expecting Dr. Palgrave Boachi Dankwa, who is government spokesperson on governance and security, as well as Duke Aaron Sasu, who is a lawyer and a youth leader and spokesperson for the Movement for Change. I have a feeling that the rain kind of delayed them a little bit, but let's hope that they make it here. Richard, good to have you here.
Good to have you too, Kafai.
Yes, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
What's on your mind this morning?
A lot of things going on in my mind, but let me say good morning to you.
Yes.
Good morning to your cherished viewers, and good morning to the good people of Nkwanta South constituency.
Okay, that's your place.
Yes, that's my place. I know Terrigen. His Excellency, the incoming President of the Republic, President John Dramani Mahama. Kafai, you know that it's a done deal. The Ghanaians are yearning for change, resetting this country and building up economy. Building a Ghana we want together. We will include all of you in building up this country, because you ask what is in my mind. Coming up this morning, early in the morning, if I see how people are struggling, going out for a daily bread, taxes are high, there's no food, inflation is skyrocketing, the economy is scrambled. I ask that, if not that the NDC, the hope of NDC coming up again, how would our people live in this country in the next 10 months, 11 months to come? It's a serious problem, really. It's something that we are talking about. So that is why, if you look at the policies and programs His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama and the NDC is bringing up with the 24-hour economy. You know, with the 24-hour economy, there will be a lot of productivity, a lot of jobs will be created. Industry, private sector, and government sector will be boosted. And you know that the Exim Bank was set up by President John Dramani Mahama. We're going to have enough revenue from there to support the 24-hour economy policy. The President is also talking about something new, something nice that I think that's obvious the youth have to embrace. You know, they're coming out with the National Apprenticeship Program. You know, it's a major thing people should be looking at. National Apprenticeship Program that President John Dramani Mahama is coming up with, to make sure that those people that didn't get formal education can learn apprenticeship, whether it's tailoring, carpentering, or whatever it is. When such productivity goes on, you see that there will be stability with the microeconomy. Everybody will crisscross and buy some products. And coming up with the 6 new universities that President John Dramani Mahama is building, and it's going to be specified with a particular sector of it. So if you look at these policies and programs His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama is coming out with running a lean government and making sure that there will be stability of the economy, youth will get jobs to do, productivity, we'll look at processing sector of it. We're moving Minister of Agric from Minister of Agric and Agribusiness so that many processing factories will be set up with a located place where products are available. I use a place like Chabodom and Chabodom area in the Bono East, I think it's the Bono East, Bono region now. If you look at the product of the tomatoes, that we can have enough tomato there, but if you can't think of it, when they finish the production of the tomato, before it even gets to Accra here, it's rotten already. So we're going to set up mini products for them like that. Go to places like Tolong, we can produce more of green pepper there. Areas like that, we are looking at how to deepen industrialization of agric, so that we invest more in agric, and then there will be more food in the system. Food inflation is going to be settled. So President John Mahama and the NDC, the policies and programs we are bringing up, will make sure there will be leverage of this ordinary Ghanaian. Ordinary Ghanaian will feel very safe. There will be insecurity in the food sector, and there will be security in our personal life, so that will drive a stable economy and make Ghana great again. We have policies and programs for this country.
Thank you for giving us a snapshot of what your party is thinking of doing if they should win the election. Now let's talk about Nkwanta South. That's where you come from.
Yes.
Describe that area for us, for those who have never been there before. It's in Oti region, right?
Yes. So Nkwanta South is in Oti region. It's one of the largest, let me say, the largest district. It's a municipality, though it's the largest municipality in the Oti region. Basically, you know, Nkwanta is a cosmopolitan constituency, district. So you find major tribes there. We have the tribes like Konkombes, whom I am one.
Okay.
Yes, we have the Adeles, we have the Chodes, we have the Ewes, and the huge Ewes. We have the Kotokolis, we have the Cabres, we have the Basares.
So there's you share ethnic group with some people from Togo as well, because I know Cabarets are also in Togo.
Some of them are in Togo, and even yes. So it's a close border to Togo.
Okay.
But it's a walking distance to Togo. You can
see Togo when you are.
Yeah, so it's just a mountainous area.
Okay.
That is, and it's huge population that will basically produce most of the fish you eat in Accra here, if you don't know.
Okay.
In a community called Kabiti, it's a fishing community. And
what river runs through there?
Oh, I think it's a Black Volta. Black Volta.
Okay.
So that's the OT enclaves for this. So we do agriculture too. Basically, agriculture is what we produce maize and large chunk of yam. That's come from the yam market. It's all from Nkwanta South there. So Nkwanta is this, but just that the major problem we had is our road sector is very, very, very.
Describe
bad.
the roads to me.
So if you are from Pepesu to Nkwanta town, start and that place is okay. So the Chinese government, there was a company from China who was doing under President Mahama, were doing the Nkwanta Bunache Sibidamanko road, Wasa Sibidamanko road, and that was a GOG project. After now, the Packard are not doing it. It's so terrible. So when they are leaving Nkwanta to Pasa, it's like a journey of 20 minutes. It will take about 3 hours to get there now.
20 minutes.
Yeah, it's probably like 20-25 minutes. You'll be there. But so terrible situation in the road sector there. And our feeder roads are another problem, the major problem that we are facing.
When you say feeder road, what do you mean?
So that's the inner roads, even the town inner roads. The feeder roads are roads also leading to the communities we have. If you are living from, the Chabubo National Park. I don't know if you've heard of Chabubo National Park. It's in Nkwanta. That's where you see the Breast Mountain.
Yes.
Yes, and then the sheer
Breast Mountain.
Breast Mountain.
Explain the Breast Mountain.
So the mountain, it looks exactly like a breast. It's called Breast Mountain.
Breast Mountain.
Yeah, for the Forest Commission, you can confirm it.
Okay.
And that's where you get about 99 species of butterfly.
Yes.
And that's sheer boundary with Fasoa Malafakaza in Togo. So I have a larger forest reserve there. But the road leading from that place from Nkwanta to Keri, Keri to Kwe, is so terrible road that you can see. That's so bad road. And then we under President Mahama, we started to do, cashew also grows there very well. So we try to put a cashew bank around that area so that we can transplant cashew. So that's why President Mahama is also focused on the cashew board, which we also agree with that. Okay. So we can get larger cassava in Nkwanta, you get yam, maize and other agricultural productivity. That's what we do. And so that's basically in Nkwanta, a large population as well. And as I'm talking to you now, productivity is quite low.
I think you've given us a good snapshot of what Nkwanta would look like for somebody who hasn't been there before. Absolutely. And I look forward to actually visiting one of these days. You're watching GTV Breakfast. My name is Kafui Day, and we are having a chat on issues that are in the news. I'm here with Richard Manuribe, who is a proud member of the community of Nkwanta South.
Nkwanta South. I'm from Bunache.
He's from Bunache, yes. And he speaks for the NDC on matters of communication issues. In case you're wondering about the Breast Mountains, we're going to show you pictures of those Breast Mountains, and then it will come up on the screen pretty soon. Never heard of it before, so every day you hear something new, and now I know that there's a part of Ghana where you have Breast Mountain.
But basically, Nkwanta is where the Hanging Village is.
Hanging Village?
Yes, sure.
Okay, tell me about that.
Hanging Village is built on the mountain. It's a mountainous place that built it is. So even Basika cannot go into that community unless your footpath.
So you are hanging on what? What are you hanging
on? On the mountain. And so it's one of the oldest community in the world.
Really?
Yeah. So
are they Guans?
Yeah, they are Guans.
Okay.
They are already actually. Yeah. So that's where the Hanging Village is. So
why are we hearing about this now? I mean, these are tourist attractions.
I mean, they're quite tourist attracted area. That's what I'm saying. I've always preached tourism. But if you look at my constituency, so that's exactly.
Those are the breast mountains. So this is what, like a woman lying down.
Yeah.
And those are her breasts.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
It was definitely a man who named this mountain Breast Mountain. I don't think the women think it looks like breast, but hey, how you go do it? So that's what it's called, Breast Mountain. Thank you so much. So now you know what to go and look for when you go to T region and go to Nkwanta South, right? Nkwanta South. And then you will see this. Okay, WhatsApp number 055-556. My name is Kafui. My guest here is called Richard. And we are looking at the stories in the news. I'm also asking about prices of cement. So let me know how much cement is costing in your neighborhood. Let me know the brand of cement, how much it is, and where it is being sold for at that price. There are a couple of headlines in the news. Clog Sack has declared a strike over non-implementation of new salary structure. So CLOGSAG is Civil and Local Government Service Staff Association of Ghana. I'm glad they have CLOGSAG because the thing is very long. They've declared a nationwide strike beginning today over what they say is the non-implementation of the new salary structure by the government. A notice dated July 2, 2024, signed by Isaac Bampo Addo, Executive Secretary of CLOGSAG, asked all staff to stay away from work until further notice. And so let's see. So more to follow on this particular piece of news, but this is not welcome. I mean, nobody wants to have strikes, but strikes are part of the tools that people use to get their issues out. And so they definitely will want to speak to CLOGSAG to find out exactly what the real issues are. So we are getting through to them, and we will get through to them. But just your quick comment on CLOGSAG.
So, you see, labor issues are something that I see to be a national security threat. Because when labor, you don't invest much in labor, how do you get productivity? And the government must spend a lot to pay workers to make sure that they bring in results of whatever you do. You know, more like when you are well paid and have a very settled self for yourself, you get good salary, you have a good condition of service for yourself, you have a good welfare, there will not be corruption in the system. But when somebody earns, let's assume today it's raining, you come to work, maybe you don't have a car, you need to pick an Uber because you need to meet up time. And you spend hundreds a day. In a month, you end up saying maybe 12,000 or 13,000. Your salary is 5,000. How do you live by magic? You look at how you pay your utility bill. You look at how you pay your school fees and those things. So those things should be sectored in the public sector, whereas people are working with all those things. You'll be okay. The wastage that go in corruption in our institutions is all based on that, because when they have a good welfare and put in good structure, they'll be quite productivity. So I think that government to look at it and restructure and make sure every government worker have a very comfortable life, better life, condition of life to live, so that it will minimize corruption apparently. So it's good, but day in, day out, the labor battle and labor agitation, I think it's too much. That's what President Mahama has always focused that. Look, let's look at how we can restructure our institutions, make sure workers in the system get good salary, get good condition of service, and they'll be okay. So I think that we should clearly look at that and make a progress of it.
So I want to read a little bit of the letter, and the letter says, following our indication of intent to proceed with a nationwide strike if the new salary structure for civil service and local government staff is not implemented, we now declare a nationwide strike effective Wednesday, July 3rd, 2024. All staff of the civil service and local government service are to stay away from work until further notice. Similarly, all CLOGSAG secretarial offices must be closed. So, in case you just joined us, the Civil and Local Government Staff Association of Ghana, also known as CLOGSAG, has announced a nationwide strike starting Wednesday, July 3, which is today. The association expressed frustration over the government's failure to implement the new salary structure approved by the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, despite a memorandum of understanding being reached 1.5 years ago. Speaking to the media, CLOGSAG's Executive Secretary Dr. Isaac Bampo Addo urged all members to comply with the strike directive until their demands are met. What's the government response to this? And right on cue, we do have the government spokesperson on governance and security right here in the studio with us, Dr. Palgrave Boachi Dankwa. Good morning.
Good morning.
And congratulations on the PhD.
Thank you.
Yes, the last time you came here, we saw you were a mister. Now you're a doctor, so well done.
Thank you.
What was your PhD in?
So I did my topic on servant leadership,
okay,
and organizational citizenship behavior,
all right,
among public sector workers in Ghana.
Okay.
And I used the moderating role of task interdependence.
All right.
My award was given by IPAG Business School in Paris, France,
awesome.
Facilitated by the Nobel International Business School. I graduated on Saturday, and so
fresh.
Yes,
it's like 4 days.
It's good to be here.
Félicitations, congratulations.
Merci.
Well done.
Merci.
Well done. And you are diving straight into strike issues because CLOGSAG have announced a nationwide strike today. What does that mean?
Let me greet your viewing public, and let me greet you as well, Kafu. It's been a while, and it's good to be here.
Yeah.
I am concerned because I don't see where their position really is. I know that government has always looked into the needs of CLOSAC because it's one of the major high numbers of the labor front in terms of workforce, and for a lot more public servants and political appointees rely heavily on CLOSAC for the day-to-day administration of government delivery work. I know that at the 2023 budget reading on the floor of the House, the government has stated that they were going to increase salaries of civil servants, if you and public servants, and we're going to even do it in 2 tranches. And so the increment came in January, February of this year, and I'm aware as well that mid of this year, June, July, there's supposed to be another increment as well. I'm very sure that as a listening government, as we have always been, we would akin our minds to the issues that they have risen up. We hope and pray that it doesn't exceed beyond 72 hours in terms of resolving it, because CLOSAC is a major bedrock of the operationalization of the effectiveness of government machines.
When we say civils and local government staff, I mean, how many people are we looking at here?
It's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, maybe 70,000. It's a lot. It's a huge number.
And what are they responsible for? What kind of work do they do?
Well, so it runs from administration to chief directors to PPMEs, which is policy planning, to research, to the PR department. It's huge. To FNA, they manage the various ministries, departments, and agencies. So you can imagine when they call for a nationwide strike, that is putting their pens down, and it's going to hold every minister, deputy minister, is going to hold every DC, MC. They will not know what to do, because it means these people will not come to work. And CLOSAC is very strong, very strong, that you cannot undo their decisions if it comes from leadership. So yesterday, in the very latter part of the day, I drove around and I saw red at the various ministries. I was beginning to wonder whether we were mourning the demise of Dr. Kojo Mensah Brampa, who passed on Monday, the Director General for NDPC, who I worked very closely with because his sector is one of the sectors that I speak for, under the office of the President, who has been a father and a mentor and a political advisor as well. So we would attend to the needs of CLOSAC, but it has to be a win-win approach, because we are aware as well where we are at in our government. But I'm minded to state, Kafi, that all throughout this year, we will see a lot more of that, because it's an electioneering year. There's a transition of government from the New Patriotic Party under the leadership of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo to another government of the New Patriotic Party under the foreseeable leadership of Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party and Vice President of the Republic of Ghana. And so we would see a lot of these, because I'm sure that conversations and promises that have been made to the labor front, they would want to see that it's actualized now. So we'll try to meet their needs, but it would be a win-win approach for all of us.
It will be a win-win approach, we hope, for all of us. We don't want business to grind to a halt. And if 70,000 people who are in charge of administering the country decide not to work, the governance is grinding to a halt, really. So, if I should go to the ministries today, I'll see red bands all over, right?
Yes, if you go to the ministries today, you see red bands. I started seeing the red bands yesterday, but I didn't know what was happening until I climbed up the stairs and I was told that, yes, this is what is happening. The CLOSAC has called for a nationwide strike. So you will not find any worker. That's significantly what it means. You will not find any worker. Maybe the national service staffs you might find there, but you will not find any worker there. That's what it means.
So when it happens like this, then what happens? What happens on the government side? Because this is not the first time you've been confronted with a strike.
It slows down government. It really does slow down government. And I'm aware there's a cabinet meeting today. And so I'm sure it would be one of the topics that will be discussed, that the president will raise for us to be able to look into it, because the Minister for Labor will be there. And so I hope this doesn't travel into the end of the week. I'm sure that by close of cabinet, by tomorrow or Thursday, we should hear some conversations coming front.
So this falls right on the desk of Honorable Ignatius Bafwe was.
Yes, he's the minister.
He's the Minister for Employment and Labor Relations.
Yes, he's the Minister for Employment.
So I'm sure he'll brief people in cabinet about what's happening.
Yes, I mean I must commend the minister, because I've had an opportunity of sitting in government negotiations with him when we were trying to look at the commissions and the COLA, cost of living allowance, that we were giving to the labor unions, and he's a very good negotiator, and he cares about the Ghanaian people, the Ghanaian public workers and the Ghanaian public servants. And so I am very certain that this issue would have come to his notice, and I am very certain that he would red flag it as one of the most critical issues that we need to look at as a government. And I'm certain, I believe in his leadership. He's done excellently well. And so I'm sure that by close of cabinet today, by close of tomorrow, Thursday, we would have some very, very, very good responses.
You are watching GTV Breakfast. This is one of the top stories this morning, and it's all about CLOGSAG declaring a strike over non-implementation of the new salary structure. It's on the front pages of most of the newspapers. They declared their strike, and it began today over what they say is the non-implementation of the new salary structure by the government. And a notice dated July 2, 2024, signed by Isaac Bampo Addo, Executive Secretary of CLOGSAG, asked all staff to stay away from work until further notice. We're making efforts to bring CLOGSAG into the picture as soon as possible so that we can hear their side of the story and know exactly what the situation is. But that is the big story for the moment. I'm going to read a couple of more headlines to you as well this morning. Professor Adai says the problem with free SHS is the practical implementation, not the legislation. And Professor Adai used to be in charge of GIMPA back in the day, and he's added his voice to the conversations around free SHS. And he says it's not a matter of implementation, but it's not a matter of legislation, but rather a matter of implementation. A couple more other headlines this morning. We have Dr. Baumia gaining support among first-time voters, according to Global Info Analytics, who have done their poll. Ghana faces cyber attack threat ahead of December elections, says the Africa Center for Digital Transformation, warning of potential cyber threats to Ghana's elections. The NDC has suspended the Central Regional Chairman over unlawful withdrawal of Asin Central Parliamentary aspirant. That's another headline there. And if you have any comments that you want to make concerning what you've heard so far in the news, just give us a WhatsApp 055-556-1034, 055-556-1034. You are watching GTV Breakfast, and we will stay a little bit longer with the CLOGSAG story. I do have on the line right now a labor consultant, the CEO of Game & Game, Mr. Austin Game. Good morning, sir. Welcome to GTV Breakfast. What does it mean when an organization such as CLOGSAG, the Civil and Local Government Service Staff Association of Ghana, decides to put their pens down and not come to work? What is the potential impact on the running of the country?
Good morning, Jeffrey.
Good morning, sir.
It's obvious that since the threat of going on strike since June 21st, thereabouts or so, it's clear that we have a game on our hand, and the best thing to do is for the employer to take steps to avert it. That is why, and also, of course, we have a labor commission. That is why there is the need for proactivity at all times. So I'm surprised, knowing that this is a public service institution that you cannot joke with. Joke with in the sense that most people who operate in the private sector today may not be able to work successfully because they need to have certain approvals, certain information to enable them to operate and to work successfully. If indeed all the public service operators are to go by the directive by CLOSAG, what it means is that the country has been shut down. That's really the meaning. And so I'm amazed and surprised that the employer is able to be quiet and wait till the strike became a reality now, as announced yesterday. So I'm sorry for the nation.
According to the government spokesperson on governance and security, there's going to be a cabinet meeting today, and he will be surprised if this issue travels beyond the end of this week. He's hopeful that some resolution will come. I'm sure you've had opportunity to sit in similar cabinet meetings in the past when you were a minister and had to deal with such issues. What kind of conversations will be going on in such meetings?
Well, it's obvious that we could not have waited. I'm surprised for the spokesperson to say that because there'll be a cabinet meeting today, why wait till cabinet meeting? We would have attacked the issue, A person like the former Minister for National Security, the Honorable Kofi Totodikwashi, will never wait till a situation like this would develop beyond a day. He would have called the ministry, our ministry. We would have been working throughout the night. Some meetings will be held even in homes. So I'm amazed and indeed surprised that it has traveled to this extent. I do hope that, as the spokesperson said, they will do something about it, but I don't think it is fair to even hear that they are waiting to go to cabinet meeting. When they were having that agreement with CLOSAG, did they know that there will be cost to it? Did they cost the thing before they even went to the meeting? People don't understand what it takes to be talking about industrial relations or to be talking about negotiation. It appears people take it for granted that they are going to negotiate, and they just walk into the meeting and talk and have minutes, and then when it comes to implementation, it becomes a burdensome stone on their head. That's what it is.
In your view, do you think CLOSAG is justified? I mean, we know there's an election coming up in about 5 months. You're not surprised that this action is taking place, are you?
Maybe we shouldn't even mention election because the thing didn't start yesterday. It's over 1 year plus. This is what we are hearing from your media. Over 1 year plus that they have negotiated and they've been following and waiting patiently with their hope that it will be implemented. If you cannot implement it as an employer, why don't you call for a dialogue, a social dialogue between the parties? Because this is purely managing labor management relationship. And you waited till about a week ago. They've been talking about since 21st June that we would strike if we don't do anything about it. And everybody went to sleep. Look, it's about time we really become serious as a nation. We are not serious. That's just simply about it. We don't have leadership.
We'll leave it here. Mr. Austin Gami is a labor consultant, CEO of Gami & Gami, and expressing his views on the CLOSAG action which took off today. We've been joined by Duke Aaron Sasu. He's a lawyer, youth leader, spokesperson for the Movement for Change. Duke, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Kafu.
Yes, it's good to have you here. Your bite of the CLOSAG story, they're on strike. They started strike today. They put their pens down. They want more. They say whatever was agreed is not being respected, so they're not working.
Thank you, Kafu, once again, and a very good morning to all Ghanaians. I bring special greetings from Honorable Alan Martin, who says that for young people, particularly in this country, he is here for us. And it's important that young people understand that the one person whose ideas and policies and plans are structured to provide jobs and opportunities for the keen young people of this country is Honorable Alan Martin. On the conversation of CLOSAC, I think that there are two notable elements we need to discuss. The first is the delayed level of engagement, especially when we have been informed by the media that these conversations have been happening over the past year. And the reason why this conversation is important mainly is because of the strategic importance of CLOSAC within our affairs as a nation, and the importance that public service workers hold in that regard. So essentially, when there is a lack of engagement over a year, that you cannot have a conclusive level of saying that this is what we are going to do subject to the negotiations that have been agreed on, then it is a problem. And it is, I'm glad that my brother Papa Agri is here, spokesperson for government on issues of security. And it's a threat to our security as a nation, especially when such a vital organization and their level of engagement is quite lacking within the government levels. The next conversation is what the gentleman mentioned, is about the agency of response. And this agency of response is such that it was in response to what he mentioned. Paragraph had mentioned that the government, he should have an emergency meeting today and all that. And he was making a comparative analysis as to how government historically has dealt with these issues. That right even before or during or after these announcements, you have some urgent responses that included some level of the negotiations and all that, that ensured that at least, even if you don't come to a conclusion of a finality, there is the perception of respect and an acknowledgement of the level of importance of this very, very grouping. But I'm confident that, as my brother has mentioned, that the government would give us a response probably by close of today, as soon as possible. We'll actually wait and see the government's response, and we are hopeful that these people who are quite integral to the architecture of our nation, their problems are surely addressed.
Okay. Richard, you want to add anything before I bring in Pablo? Yeah, it looks like the pressure is on government.
Sure. So
to solve this thing, and the accusation was that the claim was that you waited for things to get out of hand before you're now trying to. I mean, the horse has bolted from the stable, and now you are going to lock the door.
I don't think
the horse is out.
Kafui, I don't think so. I don't think that Mr. Gami understood my context. It is not because of CLOSAC's strike
that you're going for
that there is a cabinet meeting. No.
You already have
There's an already scheduled cabinet meeting today.
Okay.
And what I stated, well, I mean, it's subject to the president's itinerary and schedules.
Okay.
What I stated is that I am sure that it would come up for discussions. And so I need to put that in context, that there's an already scheduled cabinet meeting today.
You think this will be on the agenda?
Well, it
has to be on the agenda.
The minister will be there.
Yeah.
And as part of cabinet conversations, you will discuss trending issues. And this is a major trending issue. And so I didn't state that it is because of this that cabinet is meeting. There's an already scheduled cabinet meeting, for which reason I know that this issue would come up for discussion. And I'm also excellently convinced that by close of week, we would see that this issue is resolved, which is why I stated I'm sure fair wages and salary commissions will come in and all of, to make sure that we're able to reach some negotiations. And maybe what Mr. Gami is also aware is that in standard practice, there are always meetings that are held. And it doesn't mean that there has not been meetings that are held with the leadership of CLOSAC. It's just that they have not been able to arrive at some agreeable terms for both parties, government and the public servants.
Okay, all right. I think we are trying to get through to Dr. Isaac Bampo, Executive Secretary of CLOSAC. When we get through to him, we'll let you know. 055-556-1034. You're watching GTV Breakfast. Dr. Bachidankwa is here. Duke Aaron Sasu is here, and Richard Manuribi is also here with me. Probably, Duke, I want you to just give me a sense of what's on your mind beyond CLOSAC, because I gave them all the chance to speak about things like that. Well, probably I'll get Paragraph also.
Sure. Thank you again, Kafui. Essentially, for me, it's about young people, mind, and the state of our nation and how young people can thrive in this country. And so, in recent conversation with Honorable Alan Martin, his entire mindset is how he can leave behind a legacy that ensures that there are opportunities for young people in this country.
Does he get a sense that, do young people still have confidence in democracy?
Yes, they do. It's about trust and leadership. And the conversation essentially is about trust. So that it's not about your political identity, whether you are MPP or NDC. It's about whether you represent the diversity that defines our country. So essentially, young people are looking for someone who has plans that relates to them. He says that they're looking for someone who is youthful. Youthfulness not in age or personality, youthfulness in ideas. Because you can have someone who probably might be 29 years, but he's so conservative and probably primitive in thinking that his ideas do not reflect the ideas of young people.
And your candidate has youthful ideas?
Oh, yes,
what is his biggest youthful idea?
His biggest youthful idea is to create the highest number of young millionaires in this country. He says that right after university, he's developing a plan where a heavy sum of, an amount of money is put down for young people to empower them in businesses. We are going to create the greatest number of entrepreneurs in this country from young people. And this is going to be in partnership with our tertiary institutions. Essentially, what he's saying is that we need to weaponize the ideas of young people so that their strategic ideas become the cornerstone of our industrialization drive. For young people within the Galamsey areas, because within the Galamsey areas, for example, young people are deemed to be the ones who are at the forefront of it. The conversation is that we need to bring these young people together and form corporate structures for them.
They're also the ones making the water look like this.
Exactly. The challenge is that these people do not have licenses. So what he's saying essentially is that there needs to be a conversation where we bring them together, form a corporate enterprise for these groupings. So if there are about 5 different people who are engaged in this small-scale mining, illegal mining, you bring them together, form a corporate body for them, give them a license. By that, there is effective monitoring because of the corporate structure that exists.
But illegal mining is an illegality.
Exactly. It is illegal because they do not have access to a license.
Yes. So are you going to get a moratorium and tell them, you know what, we won't come after you, get some time to be regularized? Is that how you're going to do it? Because you can't just regularize criminal activity.
Of course, no.
Overnight.
We say it is illegal because they don't have a license.
Yes, so they are going against the law.
The moment, so it means that at the end of the day, it's about the way in which they are having their mining processes that is affecting whatever process we have here. The reason why our water bodies are being affected is because they are not using the right processes. You cannot monitor them when they lack a structure. That structure is best gotten when they have a corporate structure, and based on that corporate structure, they have a license approach.
Is it not a failure of the Minerals Commission and Environmental Protection Agency?
Oh yes, it is. It is essentially. But you can only engage them in it. So for example, if you just give them a license right now, right, they will not be able to operate within the right regulatory structures, mainly because they lack a corporate structure that for even effective monitoring. When there are structures of institutions that exist that empowers these young people to become the people who benefit from the resources of our state, then essentially they know that there is a way of practicing. And to get access to that license, you must be part of a corporate structure, whereby that corporate structure adheres to rules and regulations and practices that ensure that we preserve our lands in general.
But the mafia also have a corporate structure, and they have rules and regulations. But if the police are not on the mafia will still do all their criminal activities. So is it not more a monitoring issue?
No, the mafia operates in a black market society mainly because their structures are not ones that are within the limits of the law.
So are the Galamsey people.
Exactly the point. Yeah. So then bring them closer by providing those structures for them to operate in, where at the end of the day, their profit margins can still be achieved, but within regulatory structures determined by you.
But when we are going after the mafia, we don't make it easy for them. They jail them. They put them behind bars. They jail them.
But we have tried that and it has failed. We've been burning excavators. We have been jailing.
Burn some more.
Exactly. But what is happening is that the reason why, for example, there are loopholes within architecture said that we are not even confident as to whether the government structures and elements are really doing the monitoring themselves is because that lack of structure allows governmental elements who themselves are seeking to profit from the process to find their ways around it. When you create a structure that is response to same, then you do not allow people who have their own agenda to actually thrive.
So tackling Galamsey is a big deal for Mr.
It's a big deal. We must empower young people to legally benefit from the resources of the state.
Dr. Bachi Dankwa, what's on your mind? You dived straight into clock sack, but I want to know what's on your mind, really.
So, you raised the global analytics issue.
Yes.
You raised cyber security and then Duke, who is my brother, relative, my brother, is talking about Alan Kojo Chemantin's Galamsey. Let me start from Duke's end, and I can end with the global analytics.
I will ask you to just give me 5 minutes because I have the Deputy Minister for Labour and Employment Relations on the line, Honourable Bright Rekubrobe. Good morning. Welcome to the show. That doesn't sound like our Deputy Minister for Labour. Hello, good morning. We're going to try and get through to the Deputy Minister for Labour and Employment Relations, Honourable Bright Rekubrobe, and we'll be talking about the issue of this nationwide strike that has been declared by CLOCSAC starting today and signed. There was a communication that was signed yesterday by their Executive Secretary. I think we do have the Deputy Minister for Labour and Employment and Labour Relations, Dr. Honourable Rekubrobe. Good morning. Oh, the lines are messing us up. It happens with the rains. Can you hear me, sir?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. You're welcome. We're watching. You're on GTV Breakfast.
But let me correct the title. I'm not the Deputy Minister. I'm the former Deputy Minister and the technical advisor to the Minister.
Thank you so much. Let's go ahead.
Yeah.
So we would like to have your what advice are you giving the Minister with respect to this strike, sir? Hello? The lines. So we're going to try again and see whether we can get through to the advisor, technical advisor to the Minister for Labour and Employment and Labour Relations and former Deputy Minister at that ministry. We will get through to him in a short while. The WhatsApp number is 055-556-1034. And Palgrave, please jump in, and when he comes back, I'll get back to him.
Kafi, you know that this year is an election year, a very important election for the country, Ghana, and candidates are coming up. I am glad that we have some new additions and new introductions like Cheddar, like Alan Kojo Chemantin, who are all coming in. I am aware that in this year alone, almost 1/3, closer to 2/3 of the world's population are going to go into electioneering, because about 60 countries are going to go into elections. But if what Duke shares about Galamsey and illegal mining for young people is some of the things that the candidates for movement is going to do, then there's no need for him to come, because our government has addressed that issue and is addressing it. When we look at illegal mining, the government of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and the sector minister, the Honorable Samuel Abujinapo, started with a stakeholder engagement with the chiefs.
Okay, hold that thought. Let me see if I can get him through, and I'll get back to you. Sorry about that. Honorable Rekubrobe, good morning. Welcome to GTV Breakfast. You are the technical advisor to the Minister for Labour and Employment Relations. What advice are you giving him with respect to this CLOCSAC strike, sir?
Well, let me say good morning to viewers and listeners all over, and calm them down. Well, a release has been issued for them to go on strike, but it's a process. We got the letter yesterday. This morning, we are meeting the Labour Commission. We already had someone like a week ago to meet them. So once the strike was declared, we will still go ahead and go to Labour Commission today. And hopefully, I'm sure when minds meet, we'll resolve this matter. So people should be calm. I mean, it's a release, a communique to go on strike has been issued. Steps are being taken seriously to get matters resolved. So this is what I'll have to assure the public for now.
How did we get to a strike situation today, sir?
Well, all the time, the basis for strikes have been that somebody wants something and you have to give, and you don't have, or you have little, and it's unacceptable, and negotiations stall at the point. And we get this far. But we have institutions that come in to help us resolve all these matters. And that's why I'm saying immediately. And just even before they issued the strike, Labour Commission had invited the parties. And so this is how it comes about. Somebody wants something, and you cannot meet it. The person doesn't agree. And so it's a natural phenomenon.
How many people are we looking at who are on strike now?
Well, CROCSAC, it's a body of civil servants and local government service workers. So we are looking at close to 60,000 people, yes.
How soon will we get a resolution? I mean, what does a resolution look like for you? You are the one advising the minister. What does a resolution look like?
Well, as for soon, for us, the government side, we wish that even today at NLC, we would be able to resolve the matter. But here again, it's people's right. I mean, they have a right to also let back on strike. So it's more at some point appealing to them, and they also reasoning with us, and then they'll go back to work. So I cannot preempt the outcome of today's meeting, but for government, we want it as soon as yesterday.
Are you nervously looking behind your shoulder, over your shoulder, to see whether there are more people coming on strike in this time?
Well, we have various groups of, workers. And some of them have had their issues addressed. They went through such processes, but we didn't get to where they would even embark on strike. In this instance, a few issues and challenges. That's why I said they are requesting for something which government cannot meet in its entirety. So it's a give and take. Let's be optimistic that we will meet and resolve this matter so that they can go to work.
What exactly do they want, sir?
Well, they put a few things together, including some conditions of service. And we are looking at that. Like I said, I don't want to preempt the matters that are before.
Right. Just before you go, what is the situation with the CTAG? All right, sir. Before you go, what is the update on the CTAG strike, Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana?
It is also one burning issue, and we are working on it. This morning as well, the Ministry of Education is meeting on that one. And hopefully, we will be able to resolve that.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to add to this conversation before I let you go?
Well, just appealing to the public that when things happen like this, it's not a panic situation. Because of the strike act, if people had something in the ministries and they are on their way now, I can, predict that they may go and get disappointed. So they should just look up to us. We'll get it resolved as soon as. So they should have that assurance.
Okay. So thank you so much, Honorable Bright Reku Brobe. He is former Deputy Minister at that ministry and technical advisor to the Minister for Labour and Employment Relations. He says, look on the bright side, a resolution is on the way. It's 8:27, you're watching GTV Breakfast. Palgrave.
So our Minister for Lands and Natural Resources set a motion in place where he began engaging the stakeholders, met with the chiefs, the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo himself, engaged the National House of Chiefs in Ashanti region. Government put in 10 mercury-free machines to ensure that people become responsible miners. Government as well also put in the alternative livelihood program for persons who live within mining environments. Government as well has started reclaiming mining sites that have been left over the years. And so I'm stating that if you look at the efforts of government with mining and mining responsibly, and also licensing some small-scale miners and putting them into a group, is one of the reasons that the man movement of Alan wants to come. Then he should wait, because we have already begun the process. We've set it in motion.
This was the water 2 years ago.
That is 2 years ago.
This is the water from this year. 2 months ago.
It's getting better. It's getting better.
But people are drinking this.
No, but it is getting better.
So if you go to the Prime, tell them that, oh, Charlie,
it
you
is
know
getting
what?
better.
It's getting water, but continue drinking this.
No,
is that what you're saying?
No, we are not asking them to drink it. That's what I'm saying.
But this is what they have.
No, but yes, but then you see, it's not as it was years ago. It's changing. It's getting better.
So we should celebrate this.
You said this is when? Last year?
This is 2 years ago.
And this is last year?
This is this year.
This year, which month?
Oh, 2 months ago.
2 months ago is
Yes.
when? Today is July.
Yeah.
So that's May. Let's go back again. But I'm saying it's getting better.
So from orange juice to lemonade is an improvement?
But it's getting better. I mean, it's getting better. We are not there yet, but it's getting better. The fight has not been won yet, but we are still fighting. And minded to say that the Global Analytics survey has come out. I'm glad that Richard is laughing, because when it went in their favor in April and February, they commended Musa Dankwa. I know Musa Dankwa personally. I know surveys are good. The president, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has said that the best survey is the day of election, where people exercise their democratic rights and franchise. The flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, in February of this year, the UPSA launched his vision and started his first round. In his first round, he went to all 16 regions. In the next couple of days and weeks, he's going to start a second round. Minded to state that the National Executive Council of the New Patriotic Party is meeting this week, to be fair, on Thursday, to have a conversation around our running mates. And I read paragraph 61, page 16 of Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's vision statement, the next chapter of Ghana. And this is what he says, and I quote, "For me, to lead is to solve. Indeed, all my adult life, my biggest motivation is about finding solutions, solutions that improve lives, solutions that make public services efficient and accessible, solutions that make society progress, solutions that protect the public purse, and solutions that make our businesses competitive. I drive my greatest satisfaction by solving problems, and I've done so whenever I am given the opportunity, and will do more if I am given the mandate to do so." And this is paragraph 61 of page 16. And I go to paragraph 63 of page 17. And this is, as vice president, the president, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, gives him mandates at every season. And when we came into office in 2017, he also had his own innate abilities of what he felt he could contribute to the Ghanaian country and the economy.
Who was in charge of Galamsey?
In charge of Ghana.
Who was in charge of dealing with Galamsey?
It's the government of Ghana.
No, you said the president gives mandate. Did the president also mandate him to check Galamsey?
No, there's a sector minister. There's a sector minister. Yes. Sector minister, Honorable Samuel Abujinapo. He's the sector minister.
He's succeeding?
He's succeeding excellently. He's succeeding. He's working very hard. Very, very hard. Today, as I speak to you, the Minerals Commission of Ghana has opened offices, huge regional offices.
But the water is still polluted.
No, but then it's a gradual process. We're getting there. They are using the mercury-free machines to ensure that they don't pollute the waters anymore. You go back in November and let's see what we have.
Who is being arrested?
Oh, but we have the operations ongoing.
It's criminal activity. Where are the arrests?
No, there's so many. The Galam stop is ongoing. The military are in. We started a process. It's not stopped and it's not ceased. But minded to state, on paragraph 63 of page 17 of the vision statement, he said, when we assumed office in 2017 as vice president, I made a decision with the blessing and support of the president to focus on critical but underdeveloped systems that would expand the economy and improve systems and create jobs through digitalization. And he makes some comparison that as the Minister of Finance oversees budget and the governor oversees monetary and exchange policy, he focused on complementary data and systems that can improve and ensure that there is ease of doing business and change the fundamentals of the Ghanaian economy, making it more dynamic and responsive to modern trends and the management of it more scientific and efficient. Okay. I have seen that Global Analytics has seen that about 36% or so of Ghanaians are responding to the digital drive of Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and the government of Ghana, which is clearly for me that if we continue in the manner in which we are going, come 7th of December 2024, which is a Saturday, and Otuadia Mpong Kwame Nyankopong will rain his blessings on us, that the Ghanaian people will be minded to vote on the existing foundations built by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and retain the new patriotic party in power. The more we stay in power, the more we are able to consolidate our gains and give the Ghanaian people a much more better opportunities in the future.
When will the water become clear?
You know,
this is 2 years ago. You say it's improving. So now, when will it get from here to something which is drinkable?
No, but you see, you know, when you ask a question like that,
yeah,
I can't be a prophet.
You see, because I actually went there to fetch the water, and I see the people.
I'm glad
so it's not a reporter speech. I fetched this myself.
Coffee, I'm glad you did.
I actually went there.
I'm glad you did.
And I was sad because this is what they were cooking.
I would join you to go in November, and we would ascertain how far we have gone. But you see, there are lots of liking skills that we can use to ascertain our fight against illegal mining.
Why hasn't digitization been used to deal with Galamsey?
In fact, to be fair, we've put in some softwares to be able to start mapping and identifying.
Why are you laughing?
I'm surprised.
What's the comedy?
The comedy is because when we wait for an electionary year to think that we can just throw out words of promises, saying that, and his submission was that wait till November, probably the December. And he'll tell you that probably on the 6th of the December, you have the water being much clearer.
No, I didn't say that.
No, I'm coming. The issue of this water is a threat to our very existence as a nation. And so if the government has not treated it as a matter of urgency and believes that a gradual approach, and one that we should hope that once that I am a part of a system.
He says they're doing well.
The submission is equal to, it's actually synonymous to the mate driver analysis, that I am a part of a vehicle and the vehicle is collapsing. However, wait for me to become the driver and then I will solve the problems of our country. You are part of a system in that regard. The vice president then goes around saying that, well, I'm a mate, but however, I am whenever there's a success, I am the one responsible for saying. But where there are failures, for example, the mining sector failures, then for that, it is a defined ministry that's actually responsible for it.
I've heard from Palgrave about what the government is doing to deal with Galamsey. I've heard from you about what Mr. Lantrematin hopes to do. Richard, what does Mr. Mahama want to do with Galamsey?
So I was just shocked and amazed of my good brother, Dr. Palgrave.
You have two brothers here?
Yes. I mean, Palgrave is a very good friend of mine.
Okay.
And then it's not a PhD. Congratulations as well.
Thank you, Richard.
Yes, and so that sat here on the national television at GTV, telling Ghanaians the good policies and programs and how they've put in place, and Galamsey is almost a thing of a past. And that if that is why Alan Kojo Chiramante want to come, he must stop because they are progressively finishing the Galamsey fight. Palgrave, if you really tell Ghanaians this, and a young man in Chufu, Atumokwa, or Chufo Praso, or Ayamfodo City, who does not have water today to drink, have to import water from Takoradi or Accra before they can get the drinking water. And you sit here, and you send you sit here and send direction to Galamsey side. You politicians yourself fight the Galamsey, fighting the Galamsey Ivan and the entrepreneurs of Galamsey, as we know.
What is your candidate's plan?
I mean, I'm coming. I'll tell you.
Preamble, we know the preamble.
Yes, I'll tell you. No, hold on. I'll tell you.
I want to punch him. You punch him now.
I want to tell you what President Mahama want to do.
What's your plan?
I will tell you what President Mahama want to do.
We don't have time, sir.
And now you go ahead and tell the military, tell the parliamentary candidates, go and tell the NPP people that any military officer or any police officer that come to Galamsey side, they should beat them. Have you heard that? Have you heard that? We have parliamentary candidate in some of the western region. We are saying that Galamsey fight has been something President Mahama period we started fighting Galamsey, and we're not involved in Galamsey. So what we are saying is that when we come, we are going to regularize the mining sector. You recall, when we were in government, what we did was that we know the pollution of the water. The water pollution is a major problem. So we started setting up some minor refinery Galamsey processing for them. So we are saying that when we come to power, we are going to get focus and fund them equally. It's not going to be maybe because this person is a party person, this one is an MPP, automatically become a Galamsey, become a mining site owner. So we are making sure we give them to the community that wants a construction, an individual who are expert in mining.
Your candidate says he'll use artificial intelligence to fight Galamsey. How is he going to do that?
Hold on.
Hold on for what?
So this is part of his plan. Yes, but you see, Galamsey, I've always say something. The fight of Galamsey, if you don't really understand the system, you can't fight Galamsey.
Do you understand the AI thing though?
I don't really understand how it works, but I understand how you can fight Galamsey.
Okay.
You know why?
Let me give you another one. He says he will grant amnesty to convicted Galamsey miners. This is Mr. Mahama.
But you know that
a special aid for the former president, not himself, an aid to him. Says Mahama will still grant amnesty to convicted Galamsey miners. This is Joyce Power Mukhtari saying this on Joy News PM Express. It says that the former president will grant amnesty to convicted Galamsey miners.
But how
will that help?
We are in this country where we know some political heads in this country are destroying our forests. We are in this country where people come openly as government people and tell a party in Yaska, literally mean that they needed more money to invest in Galamsey. We are in this country where a minister of state, we saw how people were taking bribe to aid Galamsey. And some innocent person that is at the side there, you go and convict the person.
What's your plan?
So
what's your plan? What's your plan?
Nobody.
What's the plan? What's the plan? What is the NDC's plan to deal with Galamsey?
So that's what I'm saying. I've said clearly that the NDC and President John Dramani Mahama, we are going to identify the Galamsey site and make sure that we find.
But we know the Galamsey sites already, Richard. We know them.
But why not finish?
No, but we know the site.
So the site, that's what I'm saying. We need to finance the Galamsey site and make sure that we have a regularized mining sector. Because we call it Galamsey because it's what? It's illegal. So when you legalize and regularize the area and make sure you have a community watch of people that will not go and invade and destroy the system, you have a refined Galamsey. I think that there will be a policy plan to this, and when you get to radio, you understand it proper.
Okay.
Brief. Okay. Yes. You see, I'm glad that the NDC is struggling to bring out a policy on Galamsey and mining as they are struggling to explain their 24-hour economy. But I'll tell you 9 simple policy statements from Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
On what?
Candidate.
On Galamsey?
No, on mining.
On mining.
Number 1, yes. He says, as long as miners mine within the limits of their licenses, example, no mining in river or water bodies, there will no longer be any shiza or burning of excavators. We will license all miners doing responsible mining. District mining committees, including chiefs, will provide initial temporary licenses to miners.
Okay, why can't we do it now?
He says, to ensure 100% Ghanaian ownership of newly discovered resources and greater Ghanaian ownership of our resources, we will establish, in collaboration with the private sector, a minerals development bank to support the mining industry. It's a lot. Now, I'll tell you why
Why not now?
I'll tell you why we cannot.
Why not now? If this is a continuation of the MPP administration.
I'll tell you why we cannot do it now. Because we've campaigned on policies that we have set in motion and implementing now as I speak to you. We campaigned in 2016, won the election well. Campaign in 2020, won the election well. We are delivering on the promises.
You lost your huge majority. So it wasn't. 2016 wasn't that great. 2020 wasn't that great for you.
But we didn't lose the election.
You didn't lose the election, but you didn't win as well as you won the first time.
We have won the election. I mean, I think that's important. And also to state that the promises that we made to the Ghanaians in 2020 is what we are delivering to them, which is why we cannot do these things now.
So it's like a fresh batch of promises.
Absolutely, because this is what we deliver to the Ghanaian people from the 7th of January 2025.
All right.
Can you very quickly?
Quickly, how many messages? Come on.
Okay. Quickly. So quickly, there are 2 points here. Number 1, the NDC doesn't have a plan.
No, what are you saying?
All what they have to say is that we are a lesser evil than the MPP. That's their submission. Because if you cannot tell us what you did before when you were in power, you have no right to argue on what you do tomorrow. They as well cannot tell us what they have done to kill the issue of Galamsey illegal mining. Their submission is by the vice president is that, well, I can see the rot happening, but vote for me first before I address things. That is counter illogical. It boils down to trust, leadership, and a track record. And the only one that Ghanaians can trust in that regard is Alan Martin.
055-556-1034. No government can fight Galamsey overnight in Ghana. NDC or Movement for Change should not lie to Ghanaians. We're not kids. Says Kofi. Main problem of the Akufo-Addo government is that the more corrupt money they acquire or change the stolen dollars to 4 West countries of the days to keep. Now the government has overborrowed and deferred payments, so that's a good economy to the so-called Minister of Finance, Now the Economist is now not talking about the economy again. When people say the Vice President is not talking about the economy again, what is your response?
My response is that the Ghanaian people have misunderstood the entire value system of an economy.
Oh, you are blaming the Ghanaian people?
No, those who... I'm not blaming the Ghanaian people. Yes. I'm stating that if you say that the Vice President is not talking about the economy, then you are losing sight of the fact that he stated that he wants to put in systems in place to make sure that the Ghanaian economy becomes robust, which is why we digitalize every single sector of the Ghanaian economy.
After 8 years.
Ghana.gov. Payments can be
no.
Allow me.
Let me tell you. He likes doing this. Who likes doing it? Paragraph. That's typical of paragraph. Every policy that the NDC under John Dramani Mama brought. You are talking about .gov. Ghana.gov was under President John Dramani. That's what started the
We have ensured that every single service. Every single service.
There's a common element.
No.
Every single
e-services. All the e-services platform.
Allow me.
Let me help you out.
That has never happened. So for me, when you talk about the economy, yes.
So allow me one person.
When you talk about the Ghanaian economy, and the Ghanaian people say that Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is not talking about the economy.
Yeah, because a lot of people say that.
That is inaccurate. Because he talks about the economy as he deals with the structural issues.
Which is the digitalization.
Which is the digitalization.
Okay.
That is key.
Did you buy it, Richard?
If Richard does not buy it, then he doesn't understand the economy.
That's what we built. We built the Accra Digital Center.
It's where building.
Accra Digital Center.
Digitalization is where building.
Now,
digitalization is where building.
Hold on. He sat here and told you that the MPP had brought all those platforms. You recall, President Mahama started the e-passport, e-justice, and this Ghana.org. And you say, always, you paragraph will go and sit in on national television and lie. You sat here, my brother, Councillor, you said the NDC doesn't have a plan or a policy plan for Galamsey. We told you that we're going to spend $500 million to combat illegal mining, number one, when we come to power.
Where the money come from?
When we stop all this illegality, we generate revenue. Okay. And we are saying that we are going to review. We are reviewing all the existing mining laws so that we make sure when we mine, the state also get a policy. You remember when this COVID-19 came, everybody ran out from every economy to gold economy. You recall and saw the gold prices.
Okay.
Meanwhile, because our benefit was lesser, that's why we couldn't get revenue from this. So those policies are policies President Mahama is looking at.
All right,
and make sure
before I wrap up.
Make sure they build out this.
There's a commonality here. They are agreeing to putting in systems, yet our economy is where it is today because of a failure of both parties in general. The reason is that in every electioneering year, what you have are promises and not plans. What they have is that they lay out promises, I will, without showing us how it will be done. For the first time in the history of our country, a presidential aspirant has put together a great transformational plan that details what his policy is, how he implement the policy, how it will be funded. So comprehensive. No longer will Ghanaians tolerate vague promises that have no conclusive element of how it will be done. And that's why you must trust Alan Chairman.
Last comment. Shalom once again, Kaf, please. Are the panelists aware that access to potable water is a human rights issue? None of these so-called policies on mining address the issue of Galamsey and the continuous pollution of water bodies in Ghana from Frank the Jew in Cape Coast. Ottoden, Frank the Jew. And that brings us to the end of our segment. Gentlemen, there has been a very vigorous debate of ideas. Dr. Palgrave Boachi Dankwa, freshly minted PhD, government spokesperson on governance and security. Well done, congratulations.
And the field parliamentary
Duke Aaron Sasu is a lawyer, youth leader, spokesperson for the Movement for Change. Duke, thank you so much. And Richard Manuribe, proud Nkwanta South citizen, and also a member of the National Communication Team for the NDC. Gentlemen, it's been a good conversation. Thank you so much. Wish you the best. Drive safely when you go out there. It's very wet and it's very slippery. We'll be going out to go and check some drivers on how they are driving, and so we'll give you some of that here soon. Charlie, we stopped the guy from crossing the zebra crossing on his motorbike, and he says, "Are you advising me or you are reporting me?" Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Gentlemen, there's been a conversation on the character of money coming up right now with Rabbi Odami and Sahed Servant of the Grace House Ministries International. Thank you so much. You're watching GTV. Good morning. Drive safe out there. Be careful.
Live from GBC Studio 1.
ho akohia se ebesiesi ayaresabea mana fa ne ntoma pa efre bio mana se baabia esese nipa kokogye ayarehwe yewura asantehene otumfo osei tutu ababio ede ye na koma so ade se ebesiesi gi ama na chen kane ni mpo
and then it's here was here fiti ase ne ye so and uma me see the back meje uma me 100 cities meje echina beza maje so ye de egum na ye nsa be pagya so kaza asme there to say it ma me any amreni aya kada ba ne we say down so
mpanimfo de wani boa se ne hu no ayaresabea ese efata ni dimu ankasa nanso yankote adrumra eno ane ahanai ebehia wo mo a ansa ne swade hu we yabem yikakra fama yikakra fa boa ne yiya eyema yenyina boa na otumfo Hill Cath project no enwie bayo obetumi afa sa akwan mu biaso edi aboa
Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
It's still GTV Breakfast, thanks to our partners, Away Purified Drinking Water, Medimosis Medical Center, and also Virtual Sounds Lab, located at Asylum down in Accra, the heart of sounds. Thank you all for your partnerships with us. This is Money Wednesday, and we are at our financial clinic. This is our money clinic. On Wednesdays, we try to share with you some thoughts on how to save and manage your money so that you can get the most out of it. We know it's in short supply, but with a few tips applied correctly, you may make some headway. The concept of money is a cornerstone of modern civilization, so understanding and treating money wisely will reflect your value, your priorities, and your understanding of your own financial well-being. The character of money involves examining money in its numerous roles. And to help us delve into these characters, we brought back our favorite rabbi, Rabbi Odame Ansa, head servant, Grace House Ministries International, to help us do this. Rabbi, thank you for coming back once again.
Thank you for having me.
Last week, we were having a conversation on how we can get on with our salaries, how to make our salaries get the most for us. And you were sharing some tips. In there, you started talking about the character of money. So I'm asking myself, we just use it to buy. But you started talking about it, and we got quite fascinated. So here we are again to look at the character. What is the character of money?
The character of money, what I want to mean is this. You know, money has qualities. Let me use the word, qualities, some characteristics. And it is important that we get to know, if you can understand money very well and be able to know the dynamics by which this money is made, by which it is kept, by which it is invested. You invest it, grow it, spend it, and enjoy it. You understand? So if you don't understand these qualities about money, it will be difficult for you to move them.
Okay, let's get to it.
So the first quality of money.
How many will we be looking at if we have time?
As much as we can. If we are not able to exhaust them, we'll continue next week. Okay. Yes. So the first quality of money, the character of money, is that it is the mover of everything, almost everything. Or let me use the word almost. Almost everything that is being moved in the world cannot be done without money. That's its character. That's the first thing everybody should understand. So you need to respect money and see money in that perspective, that you cannot move things in this world very well without money. And the Bible puts it in a different way. Money answers all things. Ecclesiastes chapter 10 verse 19. It says money answers all things. It moves so many things. And if you lack it, there are so many answers that will remain on, questions that will remain unanswered in your life. You can do so many things. And therefore, I tell people, respect such a commodity. Because if you don't respect it and you treat it anyhow, you'll be shocked how life will treat you. Yeah. So that's the first character of money. When you have enough of it, you can answer so many questions.
And that's why those who have more money tend to have more influence.
Yes.
Because they can move more things than those who do not have as much.
Yes. And the second character of money is that money is power, as knowledge is powerful. Wisdom is powerful, but money is also powerful. And don't underrate the power of money. In the book, in the same Bible, Jesus said you cannot serve two masters. You will hate one and love the other. And then we thought that he will mention Satan. He didn't mention Satan. He said you cannot serve both God and money. So money is a master. And don't joke with it. It can rule you or serve you. Yes. And if you don't position yourself well, money will rule you. The place you shouldn't sit, you will sit. The things you shouldn't do, you will do. You'll be having a golden hand and going out begging for silver. I'm talking to somebody. When I come here, I speak in parables.
Yes.
Yes. Some countries have golden hands because they are endowed with gold. But they move around in the world with their golden hand begging for silver. Because they don't know that if you don't respect money in a certain way, money can make you a slave. That is one character of money. You can become a slave when you should be a master, when money should serve you. So it is the lack of understanding of what money is. I was telling a certain gentleman that until we get this thing in our head, that money is not the paper that we have written 100 Ghana cedis on. This thing is not money. This is not the money.
What is it then? That's 20 cedis.
Yes, but it's not the money. This is paper that a country has printed to help you exchange for goods and services. But that is not money.
So what is money then?
And I will tell you. If money is the paper, then when you go to the bank and you are going to get a loan, they will ask you to bring a land so that you can use the land. They can get money out of land. So anything that has value that you can use to exchange for something is what you must see as money, and not the paper. This paper they have printed, in the next 15 years, it will be worthless. This 20 paper will not be 20 cedis again, even though they've printed 20 cedis on it. So don't see money as paper. See money as anything you can use that has value on it. So gold is money. You can use it to exchange something. Your land is money. Your house is money. That kente cloth that you are having there some years past, I was broke. I have to take my kente cloth and go and sell. So if you don't know if you don't know real money, you will think that the paper is the money, but paper is not the money. It's currency.
So anything you own that you can use as a barter.
Yes,
for something.
Because in the olden days, they use items to exchange for items. And that is how they were trading. Today, we use currency. And instead of them to tell us that this is not money, it is currency, they tell us it is money. Yes, it's not money. So as long as you see it as money, you will never break the economical barriers, because what you are holding in your hands is not money, it's paper. And there are people who had come to me and told me their financial status, and I said, if you don't have enough of this paper, print one yourself.
How do you do that? Only
you
countries
print it,
can
yes,
print
you print
money.
it in your head.
Imaginary money?
Yes.
What can that buy for you?
Any money you can make is first made in the mind. And if you can get it in your mind, another character of money, it can reflect on your checkbook. So if you want to make money, check what goes on here. That's where the printing press is. From here, you can go and print more money. And we print it by getting ideas. I like the way you are smiling.
Ideas.
I like the way you are smiling. So that is the character of money. Now, money, last week I said that does not really care about you or about me. Money cares to the point where you care. So if you don't care to go through the rain
this morning,
and you say, I will sleep, money doesn't care. It won't say you are hungry, so I'll come to you. It doesn't go to those who are hungry. It goes to those who deserve it.
Money doesn't care.
Money doesn't care if you don't care. So I want people out there to really care. Take your destiny into your hands. Don't say it is raining. I will not go out there.
You've started saying it already. I can't go. It's raining.
Do you know, in a certain country that I visited, they call, when it rains like this, they call, go home. That's how they call this, so they rain, go home. So if it rains around 12 midday, everybody will pack. They will all close. Ministries, government institutions.
Maybe we should move to that country.
I was shocked.
So the rain started around 6 a.m. So we would have done the intro, and then we'll come and say, it's go home day. So toodles, bye. And everybody goes.
I was shocked. And when we went out, almost every shop was closing, every office was closing, and then
what's the rationale?
My host,
in pursuit of happiness?
I don't know.
Rest?
They said, go home. And I was shocked. I said, really?
When you're in Rome,
you do what Romans do. So I had no choice than also to go home, because nobody was ready to attend.
So if you don't care and you're sleeping at home, money doesn't care.
Money doesn't care. That is the first thing. And money doesn't care because you don't care. If you misplace it, anybody at all can take it, and money doesn't care how many hours you worked for the money, how you toiled for it. If you misplace it, somebody can pick it, and the person who didn't work will rather enjoy your money. Money doesn't care because to the extent that if you die and you don't make a will, it can go into somebody who was even your enemy. And money will not say, when this man was alive, you didn't like him, so I won't come to you. So you need to be able to protect your money and direct where your money would go and who should have it. Who is capable of keeping your money and controlling your money, because money doesn't care. If you leave it in the hands of a careless person, money will not say anything. So let's be careful. It's a character of money. The another character of money is that money is inert. It is passive. Let me use that word. Passive. These 20 cedis that I removed in my pocket, it can be here 1,000 years and it will still remain here.
If nobody takes it.
If nobody takes it, and even if somebody picks it, the person will have to let the money become active. Money cannot be active on its own. So it is you who will say, I'm going to use it for this, to use it for this, to use it for that. And the same amount of money cannot be used twice. People should get this thing. So if this 20 cedis with a serial number on it, that same amount more of money with a serial number on it, you cannot use it twice. You can only use it once. And when it is gone, it is gone. So when you are going to use it to buy something, make sure that it will profit you. Otherwise, it is gone forever and ever and ever. You can't use the same money twice.
Wow.
Or can you use it twice?
Now that I'm thinking about it, my mind is just blown. Come here, the money is gone.
It's gone. So you, unless it circulates and comes, another character of money is that it circulates. So your money can go and come back, but you have to do something, position yourself in such a way that
it
the
comes
money
back
to you. But nobody can use the same money twice. So let's be careful the way we dish out money and dish out money and dish out money.
I'm fascinated with what you said about money cannot be active on its own.
Yes.
Sometimes in our cultural settings, we have a way of saying this, that you can't send money. Somebody has to hold the money and use it the way you intended. So the fact that there is money does not mean that it will automatically, if you are thirsty, the money quenches your thirst. You have to actually use
the money to
water.
buy something.
Such a fascinating. Yes. I have not thought about this as a quality of money before, but today you are raising.
It's a character of money. Mexicansu, honey, let money talk, let money work, let money act. Let money do something. You have to let money do something. Obedience cannot be a question. Money doesn't care. That is why when somebody gets it and put it somewhere
in a pot,
it can be there for 1,000 years before you realize mouse and cockroaches have eaten it. So you have to use money. Money is inert, it's passive, and because of that, people think the best way to use to handle money is to keep it. No, one thing about money is that you have to learn how to use other people's money well.
Other people's money?
Yes, learn how to use it if you want to break economical barrier. Learn how, and I'm using the word learn how to use other people's money. You see, even the government is using people's money. Treasury bills, he will take your money, takes people's money from their hands in the form of treasury bills. And then he will buy your money at a lower rate, and then he will sell to somebody else who needs it at a higher rate.
And bring you some of the cash.
And bring you some of your own money. He used your money to go and trade and brought you some little.
So learn to use other people's money
well. And we can one day we can teach on the dynamics of how to use somebody's money to make money.
I would be very interested in, let me highlight that on my paper, how to use other people's money to make money. That's a conversation we would want to have, wouldn't we? 05555610334. Share your thoughts with us. I think everybody will want to know, so that it's not my money, but I'm using your money to make money for myself. That's.
I mean, banks do. We
can't go wrong.
But you think the banks, they have money? If you understand the banking mafia world, you will not even take your money.
They're always trying to sell some kind of product. Here we have this account, and they so what's the interest rate? Then a lady said 8%. I said, but why would I give you 1,000 cedis so that you give me 8% in 5 years? Because in 5 years, the value of the 1,000 will no longer be 1,000.
That is why that paper is not money. You understand the reason why I said that paper is not
So
money.
I told that lady, no, that's not. No,
and it's because you don't know how to use money. That's why they are using it for you. If you understand the financial language, of course, when you want to deal with money, you don't speak catering language.
You have to understand, use financial
language and understand how the character of money. These things are opening the minds of people. And it will let you understand how you can use your money. And when we do that topic, using other people's money well, you would understand how money is made.
And these qualities, have they always been there, or have they evolved over time?
Oh, it has been there. It has been there. It's only that people are not cognizant of them. And you see, you need to study. You need to be wise. This one is home sense, common sense. Because I didn't do anything on finances anyway. I did pure science in the secondary school. And I only completed O-level. I've not been to Sixth Form, University, Bible College, and nothing. I'm a pure O-level student. But I have a natural head for money and business and finances. That's what God blessed me with. So I didn't do anything in economics. I didn't do business in school. I'm a pure science student and a pastor. You understand? But my mother used to tell me that when you were a child, you say things about money. So look at that area very well. I like money. I like money, and I don't do anything for free. Yeah, you know. So, my mother who advised me to look at this money stuff very well, because he said you have a natural head for it. And when I took the advice, I've seen that, yeah, that's one of my strong areas.
Okay, so we are back on the qualities.
Yes,
we just talked about
the
money
right to
circulating.
make the money. Now let me put this money out.
Okay.
Now this money, when you look at it very well, you will see that there is nobody's name on it. The only name you have on this money is the Bank of Ghana. But there is nothing like a Rabbi or Damiansa or Kafuide or anybody's name on this money. You understand? Now, what does it teach you? It teaches you that everybody can make it, everybody can lose it. That's why foreigners can come into this country, and because they understand the dynamics of money, they can make more than those of us who are in this country. So this money can go to everybody, and this money can leave everybody's hand. We all have the right and the opportunities to make a fair share of it.
Yeah.
Now, don't ever believe in this lie that there's no money in the system. It's a huge lie. Yes, this afternoon, during lunch, walk to any restaurant that you know people patronize a lot and see the money that are exchanging hands in 1 minute, just 1 minute. Walk to Mokola, Accra Mall on a Saturday and see the amount of monies that are exchanging hands within 1 minute, not 20 minutes. And then you would understand that there is enough money in the system, and you have to do everything you have to do to make your fair share.
Legally.
Legal, that's yes. Morally, legally, ethically, and whateverly. You understand? And there is something that I'm prompted to say. You see, there is only a thin line between a successful businessman and a criminal.
There's a thin line between a successful businessman and a criminal. What's the thin line?
We are on national television. I can tell you when we engage personally, but there is only a thin line between a successful businessman and a criminal. And in business, you try to look for those who are not wise and exploit them. Yes, because somebody can go and buy this. I wanted to use another word, but I'm being careful. You go and buy this at 2 cedis. Then I come and tell you, this thing is 20 cedis. And if I'm able to
convince me,
convince you, I will exploit from you. That's how money is made in the business world. That's why I said it is between, the thin line is between them. The other one is that the criminal, he takes it by force and by unlawfully. The successful man, the thin line is that he convinces you to say this is 20 cedis. Meanwhile, it is 2 cedis. And if you were a mugu, you pay 20 cedis.
I use the word mugu.
Yes, I was restraining myself, but I needed to explain you.
Our older audience will say kalabule. Remember the days of kalabule?
Yes.
They call it clever bull. I'm learning it's clever bull. We are trying to say
so we can all make it. We can all make money, and try your best and learn the dynamics of money.
So everybody can make it. Everybody can
lose it. Yes.
Okay.
And one good thing about money is that whenever you make it, it will not delay to flow to you. We don't get money. We make money. You won't get money you have not been able to make. And the calendar doesn't make you rich. The number of calendars you have spent on this earth does not guarantee your riches. So otherwise, older people will be rich and younger people will be poor. But we have Chida, very young, who is very rich. We have people who are very young and very rich. So it tells you that we don't get money. We make money. And I'm saying that the moment you are able to make it, it will not delay in flowing to you.
So if you provide a service, it will be paid for.
Yes.
If you offer a product, it will be paid for.
Try to make it. Think. Use your brain.
Make money.
Make money. And money will flow to you. It won't delay.
That's a good quality.
Yes, it's a good quality, yes. Let me see. Okay. And money does not respect classroom certificate.
Last week you told us we have to respect money. So why are we respecting somebody that does not respect us?
Money does not respect your certificate. Because otherwise illiterates will not be able to make money. But when you go to some shops, you will see the owner of the shop is a complete illiterate. So don't ever convince yourself that I am completing the university, getting a certificate.
It's not about the formal education.
It's not.
You just used yourself as an example that you've not been to the university, but you have a savviness for money. You have an awareness of what constitutes money.
I completed O-level in 86 and I've not been to classroom again. No formal education. That here am I sitting here.
That is very surprising to me.
I know you may not believe it, but it's true. If I have a degree, I will boast with it. Why would I say I don't have? But I know. I told my father that I think I can make money without a university, and he insulted me those times. And I told him a time will come, university certificate will not worth anything. That was 87. I said this in 1987. So they should allow me to be.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So we are talking about qualities of money. We'll be quickly wrapping up with this conversation. I just want to ask a quick one again. Yeah. Does trust matter when it comes to money? If I have trust in a currency, can it help the currency become more stable? Can it boost its performance, its acceptance? Does trust matter when it comes to money and the qualities we are talking about?
Yeah, you can use trust to exchange for goods and services, depending on the way you will negotiate. Yes, I can go to someone without any cash on me, and the way I'll be able to talk, I will look trustworthy, and the person can take goods for me to go and sell and come and pay back. So trust is as good as money.
Because we are trading, whether it's at an international level or at personal levels, does trust in the money you are holding. So we are talking about, for example, the performance of the city against its other trading partners. Does trust matter in that sense?
Trust doesn't matter anywhere in the value of a currency.
But if I have dollar, I know that the dollar is heavy and
okay. Then maybe I'm not understanding your question. But we at least in relation to the cedi. You see, trust cannot make the cedi get value. Yes, it is the economy and the way it is managed that makes the cedi get value. So we can't pray for cedi to get value. We don't pray. You see, praying for cedi to get value is like planting orange seed, watching the orange seed to germinate, and you see orange tree. You didn't do anything. You didn't cut it and say, I don't want orange. Then when the orange starts bearing fruits, you go and stand there and say, I prophesy, this orange change into apple. We don't do that.
It doesn't work
that way. It doesn't work that way. It is the orange seed.
Is in the planting.
It is in the seed. It is in what you do.
What you plant.
What you plant. The seed. Right. So we can't change the currency. We can't change the cedi's value until the seeds we are sowing about the cedi changes. Let's stop this prayer. Who prays for economy? You pray for the economic, those who are managing the economy, so that they'll get wisdom to manage the economy. But you don't pray for the gold is already there. You don't pray for gold. Gold is there. Gold is gold. Now your prayer cannot change the value of gold. It's gold. If 24 carats, 24 carats. What you do with the gold, the way you manage the gold, the way you sell the gold, the way you negotiate the gold, that is what will make something. And this one we don't pray. Rabbi, do you pray before you bath? There are certain things you don't.
When you wake up in the morning, yes.
Yeah, after prayer, but say, God, I'm going to take my bath. Help me to take my bath well. You know, knowledge is what makes you bath.
Prayer will not fix what common sense
you don't pray to do jollof rice because you know how to do jollof rice. So knowledge is what we need.
Rabbi, one last quality, the short one, and then we wrap up from this question. We'll continue next week, as you've said. If there is more, we'll continue next week. One last quality.
So the last quality I would want everybody to understand is this: money is a master and a servant at the same time. And it depends on the way you position yourself. Positioning. It's very critical. And this positioning is not moving from here to circle and say, I've changed my position.
It's not geography.
The mind.
Right.
The way you position yourself in your mind, the way you see yourself. money can serve you or you serve money. So let's learn to position ourselves very well. It's mental.
Bye-bye.
Africa.
Another insightful literacy class we've had today. Thank you so much. Rabbi Odame Ansah is the head servant, Grace House Ministries International. He sits with us every Wednesday at this financial literacy class where we learn tips about money and how you can save it, how we can use it more effectively. So if you've enjoyed this class, go over to our social media handles, GTV Ghana. You can watch this interview all over again, or you can reach out to Rabbi and he will share some more tips with you. He will on TikTok.
Rabbi
on TikTok.
Odame Ansah, go to TikTok. I put stuff there. You will learn a lot. Go to TikTok. Yeah.
That's how you can reach Rabbi. He will be back again next week for this financial literacy class right on GTV Breakfast, and we'll have another awesome time. So characteristics of money, qualities of money. We are learning a lot about this little paper. Now we are learning that it's not just the paper, it's the other things you have in your life that have value that you can exchange for other things in your life. I've learned a lot, and I know you have too.
That's why they say time is money.
And because it's time, we'll be back.
Yeah.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is The Breakfast Show.
Back, people, welcome back into the wet Wednesday morning outside. How are you feeling? What's your vibe like? In studio, we're about to head to the theaters where we are going to be speaking to Jamil Buhari. He's a co-director of a movie that's going, it's opening at the theaters this weekend, The Lady with the Red Balloon. We're going to be speaking to him, find out who he is, what inspired the title, who is in this movie, and maybe how much the tickets are costing and what's not. So, first time here in studio, Jamil Buhari, co-director of the movie, The Lady with the Red Balloon. Wow. Yes. Okay. the title of the movie sounds really, really interesting.
It is, yeah.
Before we get to that, though, tell us a little about you. Who are you?
Okay, so my name is Jamil Buhari. I am a director. I was a co-director for this movie with Nana King.
Okay, yes.
And yes, I've been directing for quite some years now. And oh, there he is. That's
he's in studio.
He's in the studio.
Okay.
But so basically, I've just been a co-director for some years now. I've done a couple movies that have been on Netflix, and
what's all the movies that you have on your
So we did Deranged. Deranged was on there. Diary of Imogen Brown as well. Yeah. So those were the two that we've had on Netflix. I'm sorry.
Okay. So what's it like? Is it difficult to scout for talents? Do we have it in abundance here? Is it difficult or easy when it comes to
I think the process sometimes gets a little bit tedious because then sometimes we're looking for specific characters.
Okay.
And sometimes it's tough to find them. We have a lot of people that want to be actors and actresses, but then we don't have people that nail the role. Okay. You know, so sometimes that's what the process is what gets very tedious sometimes. Yeah.
Okay. How about training? If we have talent in abundance, is there like
training?
A hub where we just put all these talents and train them? Maybe they can nail the role then.
That is so true. I think I think we do have some places that do that, but we personally, what we do is when they are on set, we have a specific way we would want the characters to portray. We want the actors to portray the character. So we tell them exactly how we want them to do it. So maybe, I don't know if that would be the training, but we kind of get them to.
Yeah, I think from what I say, I think we need like maybe schools or institutions.
That's true.
Where we have talents like yourself, like Nana King in the like showing up. Okay. Yeah. So what's a day in the life of a director like?
A day in a life. It's let me first off start by saying that it's one of the most difficult jobs because then it's like you have to direct the crew, you have to direct the actors, you have to direct like every single thing you see. So sometimes I see audience watch a movie and then they're like, oh, wow, okay, so this wasn't done this way. But they don't understand how tough it was behind the scenes, how we had to like get this here and get this here before we call the action. So it's fun though. It's fun. Don't get me wrong though, but it gets very, funny sometimes.
Did you always want to be a director?
I always did. Yeah, my dad was a director. Alhaji Sidi Kubuari. Shout out to Alhaji Sidi Kubuari. Greatest to ever do it. Alongside Nana King. Nana King, greatest to ever do it as well. First of all, let me just start by saying this. Nana King is somebody that I've always wanted to work with.
Okay.
And it's so funny. Is just a quick story. So when I was, I think about, say, maybe 12, 13, he released a movie called Shoe Shine Boy. And I watched it in my dad's theater, and I loved it so much. And I remember telling Sit Theater exactly. So I remember telling myself I would want to work with this person like one of these days. And lo and behold, another shout out coming again, John Okugo, popularly known as Tiger. He put me on. And I met him, and I was like super excited. He would probably tell you, I was like, "Whoa, I'm so excited to meet you." And he was like, "Yeah, so let's do it." And so yeah, you know, it's great to have
a dream
him.
come true, perhaps.
Yes, it definitely was.
The lady with the red balloons. Okay, we'll take a break. We'll watch the trailer. When we get back in studio, we'll talk about the movie itself, the trailer, and then we'll get to speak to the legendary Nana King, who. Ooh. Okay, so we are putting up a flyer first, yeah? And then we'll take a quick break. We'll have Nana King in studio, and then we'll discuss the plot on the movie and who is in there quickly.
The legend. Yes.
That's because we have the legendary Nana King joining us on the set. Greetings, sir. Pleasure to have you.
But proud to Shoeshine Boy. I was writing a lot of script for GBC, TV theater.
TV theater, Thursday theater.
Yeah, yes, Thursday
no
theater.
way.
A lot of movies, yeah. Most of the movies at the time was It's Me or Sakisoa, It's Me or Sakisoa. I mean, I had a lot of movies for. And then before I branched into my own writings and started. So the first one I came up with is Shoeshine Boy. It changed everything. Yeah, it changed, yes, it changed the way people do movies in Ghana. I mean, the trajectory of how movies were done changed.
Okay,
the possibilities were open.
Okay, take us back into time. What did Shoeshine Boy change? What new innovations, what techniques?
Okay, I had Shoeshine Boy, the story Shoeshine Boy in my head, practically for about 8 to 10 years.
Okay.
Until one day, I think I was walking from Adabraka to Kolegono. And then I chanced on a small poster in the middle of Wato by Willie Akufu.
Okay.
I think he was the first to introduce this thing. So I looked at it and I've forgotten whether it was the snake, the Diabolo or one of those, you know. Then I said, you know what, I can do this. So I went upstairs and watched whatever it was at the time. It was crowded. I took off my shirt. I stood on my feet the whole time. The place was packed. Those were the times. And because it was the beginning, people absorbed it, people loved it. So then I started looking for funds to make Shoeshine Boy. It was a big script, but it came out excellent. Everything in there was so natural and fluid, you know. It was a beautiful script.
Well, sir, I want to tell you that now that we have you, we are not letting you go. We'll have you in here for a lengthy conversation on the movie industry and its involvement over the years. But people, the reason why we have been able to draw this legend out of wherever he was hiding is because of the movie The Lady with the Red Balloon. And here is the trailer. It's showing this weekend, by the way. Here's the trailer. Enjoy.
This is beautiful.
I love the weather here.
I'm glad I came.
All right. Do not go see a priest. Go straight to the doctor.
Yeah. Promise you.
This guy's not going anywhere.
You never really know how strong you are until you're faced with a life and death situation.
Listen, whoever you are, now you walk out that door and never come back again.
So, and then, my boss at Pentecost job.
Why are you here? One of your favorite places.
Shut up, nobody's talking to you, okay?
Take it easy. Our main focus should be on finding her.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
It's on your fault now. It's on your fault.
Now wait. Make up shit, few minutes.
Lady with a Red Balloon.
Yes.
Okay. What inspired the title? Who came up with the title? Shabil or you?
We did.
Okay.
Definitely. My titles have always been a little controversial, but I cannot think of a specific thing that came up with the title, but this is what happened.
Okay.
When I came back from the US a year ago, it was for an entirely different story, our motherland,
Okay.
which is going to be the biggest project Ghana had ever seen. Okay. When I got here, things got a little bit rough. I wasn't finding fundings and, a little bit. So there was a break.
Okay.
And my producer, John
Okongo, popularly known as Tiger.
Tiger.
Yes.
Tiger. Yes. He and my wife said, you know what, you're a writer. You can't sit down without doing anything. I mean, if there is a break, write something and do it in the interim. So I'm like, it's not easy to just write something. I mean, you have to, have the inspiration. But they kept saying, no, you can do it. I mean, go ahead and write something so we can do it because there could be a longer break.
Okay.
I said, okay, I'll try. 6 days later, I came up with the lady with the red balloon.
6 days?
Yeah. Now, it happened that it just popped up. A lady holding a balloon, the balloon drops from her hand and it starts moving away. Balloons float.
Yeah,
so, chasing it, and then through the balloon, a lot of things happened. So it's the lady with the red balloon. Yeah.
So the goodies are in the balloon.
Exactly.
It started with the balloon.
It started with the balloon. Yeah.
Right.
It took off with the balloon. Yeah.
I saw you in there.
Yeah. I am an actor.
Listen, we're going to have a conversation.
I have acted in this particular place many, many times.
Yes.
So this is like home.
Yes. Oh, many times. Adabasu Kuono was my producer at the time. Yeah. I fortunately, I'm an all-rounder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome back. We need to have a conversation on the Thursday theatre and bring it back. So you're in there. I've seen Nadia Buhari in there as well. Which other actors did you cast?
Okay, so we have Daniel DeLong, we have Peter Ritchie, we have Fleming Fast Boyle. I think I'm mentioning the name correctly, right? So. Yes, those are the main characters so far, and Rosalind Ngiza as well. Yes. So those are the main characters for the movie. Okay. Oh, and Chiboy Akufo. Yeah, Chiboy Akufo is also very instrumental. Very instrumental for the plot.
So it's happening this Saturday at the Silver Bird. Silver Bird. Okay, what time? First, are we buying tickets? Where are we getting the tickets, and how much are the tickets going for?
Right. So yes, we are buying tickets. So we could get the tickets at Silverbird, or we could actually call the Accra Mall number and the West Hills Mall number as well, and then they'll go online and then get it as well. Yeah.
All right. How much is it going for?
100 Ghana cedis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it too bad for people who want to get the early bird tickets? Is there a deal for people who want to get early bird tickets?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so it's a flat rate 100.
It's a flat rate 100, yes.
For everyone.
For everyone,
okay.
Yeah.
Is there going to be a red carpet? I'm sure lots of people want to see.
Yes, definitely. Yes. Nana King is returning. I mean, we need to have a red carpet.
So what time does the opening start before the actual movie itself for the red carpet and meet and greet? What time?
So it starts at 7.
Okay.
Yeah, 7 p.m. Yeah. At the Silverbird Accra Mall. Yeah. I think that's where the red carpet is held.
Okay. And then the actual movie, what time does the actual movie begin?
I think it's 30 minutes after.
Okay.
I think, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So people, you have 30 minutes to be in the foyer to take all the pictures
pictures,
and the videos and meet everybody you want to meet before the movie begins. We are also talking about, like, spreading activities and events, moving it from Accra to other parts of Ghana. Is there perhaps a showing in other parts of Ghana for The Lady with the Red Balloon?
I don't think we've had that arrangement first. The kickoff is here, and then probably it's going to go. For now, we have Accra, and then Ohio. We have France, we have Atlanta, we have probably Holland, but I believe that from here it will move to other places.
Spread the word.
Yeah, we'll spread it out.
Right. Speaking to Jamil earlier, before you joined us, he said it was just pure excitement for him to film this movie. How about you? Was it the same for you? What emotions?
It wasn't. It wasn't.
No.
I mean, here is my case. I was for the first time on a set that not a single person knows who I am. And I didn't know a single person. And that was a little bit, he was the only person who recognized me a little from the past, even though he was really young. That made me really happy. But
he's been idolizing you.
Yes. But then I'm like, oh my God, that was the first. And the second thing was equipment. I am like, Ghana is now Hollywood. In my time in those days, the cameraman, the sound man, the lighting man, and maybe one more. Our five, we could flag down a taxi and put all the equipment in it.
That's it.
Man, the equipment came in 2 trucks. I was impressed. I'm like, wow, we've gotten somewhere. I mean, in those days, you practically cook for the crew. I mean, you are everything. The beginning was tough, but it has moved on.
So filming was easier.
It wasn't that easy, but a little easy. I mean, we had 2 cameras on set. That's the first time I have had 2 cameras on set. It's always been 1 camera in those days. You take the shot and retake it from this angle about 15 times and you get it right. So it was tough, but things have really improved, I can say.
We'd like to have you in for a conversation, a lengthier one. You as well, Jamil, would like to draw your thoughts on a couple of things in the movie industry. How about directing? After so long, when you went back to it, how did it?
When I went back to, I stayed a lot behind. He is in the present. He's young, he's strong. I got tired real quick, But then, so he really helped. He really pushed it, I come in with a few, ideas here and there, and that to move there. But Jamil was there. Yes, nailed it.
He nailed it.
Jamil, look, this is your idol telling you.
I know. No, it's amazing. It is. It really is. But then he's just being modest. He did a hell of a job.
We definitely have to have a part 2 after the movie premieres. We can have a part 2. Post-mortem. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Final words, Jamil, before we wrap up.
I want to see everybody in their numbers come to the cinemas because they would be amazed by the production. And plus, this is Nana King's return in after 30 years, right?
Yeah,
30 years.
Over 30 years.
Yeah, that's a long time. And he's still got it. He's still got it. So, come in your numbers and, we'll be looking forward to having you.
Great, thank you very much. Nana King, how about you? Final words.
I think this is going to, this production, the quality of this production, it's really high. Sound, pictures, acting. People are going to be amazed at how good the industry had moved.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We're looking forward to that conversation. Congrats on this movie. The Lady with the Red Balloon is showing this Saturday at the Silverbird Cinemas in Accra. Tickets are going for 100 Ghana cedis flat. The gates will be open at 7 p.m. and then you head in there for the actual movie premiere. So there'll be a little red carpet with the stars, and if you want to take your pictures, remember tickets are going for a cool 100 Ghana cedis. You get them at the Silver Bird Cinemas, at the doors of the Silver Bird Cinemas, or then you call the Accra Mall for tickets and how you can get there. We've been having this conversation on The Lady with the Red Balloon with Jamil Buhari. He co-directed this movie with the legendary Nana King, and it's showing on theaters on the 6th of July. People, we'll take a break. We are going outside now, where we are heading to Osu Dankwa Circle. We know we've started our campaign on our roads, and we are trying to clean and rid the road of all the irregularities and the indiscipline. And so King Kaf and Alan are stationed right now around Circle, and they'll be bringing us sights and sounds. King Kaf, Alan, over to you now. Giving me free time.
You're watching GTV Breakfast on a wet Wednesday morning. Behind me is the Dankwa Circle in Osu, heading towards La and other areas. And we are just here to observe the behavior of road users on a wet day like this. You know, when it's raining, you're supposed to slow down and be more aware of what's around you. I'm standing close to a zebra crossing that is not even properly marked. So it's going to be very hard for people to for drivers to even know that there's a zebra crossing here, and for pedestrians to also know that there's a zebra crossing here. I'm quite worried about the positioning of the zebra crossing because it just comes out of the circle where people are accelerating. But so far, things are moving quite smoothly. People are crossing at the wrong part of the road. You see the gentleman crossing over there, and he obviously doesn't know that you're not supposed to cross anyhow. We now have somebody who's about to cross the road. You're about to cross the road, sir. All right, Alan, you may want to help him to cross the road? Yes, indeed. Yes. Okay. All right. So there he goes, crossing the road. He did the right thing, which is good. So, yeah, so just really observing what's going on. It's interesting how people tend to speed, even when it's raining. And it's quite worrying because it shows that there's little regard for traffic safety. But so far so good. The rain mercifully has lessened in intensity, and so we are basically just observing what people are doing. I've seen a few people crossing on the wrong side of the road, which means that a lot of education needs to go down. Look, there's a lady there just crossing at the wrong place. She should be crossing over here. Please, Alan, give us some education on where to cross. Yes. Yes. So that's Alan giving the lady some education about where to cross. It's really important because if you don't cross at a pedestrian crossing, then you are putting yourself in harm's way. And that shouldn't be the case. People shouldn't die just because they are crossing a road. And so, yeah.
It's interesting observing the way even pedestrians perhaps take up what is their right in an attempt to cross the road. Yes. Because of how close the pedestrian crossing is towards the roundabout, there seems to be a certain disjoint between commuter or vehicle owners and pedestrians. In that when they come off the roundabout, it appears there is the moment for them to zoom in. Mm-hmm. And in that same breath, you find a pedestrian waiting to cross. And because the marking itself is not properly visible, the confusion comes between then whether to stop or slow down to allow for crossing. We would beg of the Department of Urban Roads to, as a matter of priority, consider marking this road in order to make it safe for both vehicle owners as well as.
You see, a man just crossed. He just crossed at any wherever they feel like crossing. So the pedestrians are also part of the problem.
It is the lack of understanding on our part, really. It is the lack of understanding on the part of pedestrians. Because if we know our rights are preserved within the road marking, by all means, it will be where we will all cross. But there seems to be a certain lack of understanding. Well, anywhere I cross is part of the road, and I take the risk because I am not regarded even when I'm crossing from the pedestrian cross.
Very, very dangerous. I want us to look at this zebra crossing. This is an apology of a zebra crossing. This cannot be a zebra crossing. This cannot be a pedestrian crossing. You can hardly see the markings.
It is non-existent. The marking is non-existent. And obviously, for those commuters who are a bit careful, when they get here, of course, I'm wearing a reflector, so there is something to look at and also observe that my being here is an attempt to cross. Anything apart from that, I am at the mercy of any other driver who will decide whether to slow down for me or even come to a complete stop, which is what the law requires of vehicle owners. When you get a pedestrian crossing and there are pedestrians, the motor has to come to a complete stop, not slowing down in order to keep on driving. You must come to a complete stop, but that doesn't happen. And that is what mainly pushes pedestrians to also cross from anywhere of the road. In some other areas, you will be stopped by the police and obviously either educated or slapped with a fine for jaywalking. But that doesn't happen in our jurisdiction. And so what should go in really is education. And that really calls out the NCCE, the Road Safety Authority, the National Police to ensure, in any case, does even our police have regard for pedestrian crossing? In our experience, as far as road safety is concerned, that is non-existent. You find a police officer riding a motorbike trying to push you off for trying to stop vehicles for,
So let's see how they're going to cross. Yes. All right. He left his shoe. Be very careful. But they are supposed to slow down. You slow down so he crosses. Slow down. They don't cross. Thank you. All right. Yes, my brother, take him across. Take them across. Yes. So we're trying to slow down, and then you go. That's it. That's the problem, man. The
problem we have is the lack of understanding. Really, it is the lack of understanding. Vehicle owners or users feel it is their right to drive on the road, forgetting that the road belongs to both the pedestrian as well as the vehicle user or the vehicle owner. And I think education, once again, must be what we all do, in order to get to that point where our safety...
Boss, cross here, eh? Zebra crossing, very safe. Other places are dangerous, okay? Yes. Are you crossing? My man will take you across. Yes. Hold on. Thank you. Use the crossing. So the pedestrians don't even know that they're supposed to use the crossing. That's the problem. They cross at the wrong place. They go diagonally, but you're supposed to cross on the pedestrian crossing. That is the problem. There's a lot of education that needs to be done in the school system, NCCE, Road Safety Authority, Ghana Police, because people are crossing haphazardly. They are not using the pedestrian crossing, Alan.
The absence of education is what is actually fueling this kind of behavior.
My brother, take your time. Don't run. Take your time. All right. Yeah. You're not supposed to run across a pedestrian crossing, you know?
No, not at all. And it's all down to education, really. We're taught when you're crossing the road to look left, to look right, and look left again before you cross. And drivers are also trained to be mindful of other road users. There are motorists, there are motorcyclists, and there are also bicycle riders, as well as pedestrians. We're all road users. And so it mustn't be the case that because you're driving, you have priority and you have control over the road.
It's as simple as that. So we're here live on GTV Breakfast, doing our road safety advocacy. Right behind us is Dankwa Circle, leading you to Osu. On your right, as you see it, left to Laboni, and down to La.
Kaf, one thing I've observed to be absent here is directly on the pedestrian crossing is a sign that says pedestrian crossing. But as is required by law to warn motorists 50 meters away from the crossing, that is absent. Again, it is the job of the Department of Urban Roads to ensure that these signs are well placed. Because in any case, what informs the driver on the road? The three things that you speak to the driver is the road marking, the road sign, and then the traffic light. And if we don't have the key two, which should inform drivers as they approach this pedestrian cross, then we can expect that such accidents cannot be avoided.
That's it. That's it. And
it suddenly appears to the motorist that there's a pedestrian.
Like a magician.
A sign. Or they're already picking up speed. They would definitely run the person over. So, Department of Urban Roads, you are failing the people in and around the Usudankwa environment to warn appropriately motorists.
Please switch round. People are crossing at the wrong place. Yes. You see? People are crossing at the wrong areas. People are just crossing at the... There goes one person who should be crossing on the zebra crossing, but he's crossing at the wrong place. He gets hit by a car, he will not understand it. He'll be shouting, insurance, insurance, insurance.
He should understand it, and he should know, he should be aware that if you choose to cross the road anywhere, then expect to be knocked down anywhere. It is that simple. It is that simple. Anyway, we're soon going to cut over to the studio CAF. But before we go away, once again, we're begging of the Road Safety Authority, we're begging of the National Police Service, MTTD to be precise, and we're also begging of the Department of Urban Roads to, as a matter of priority, reconsider our road network, especially countrywide, not only in Accra, but countrywide.
There's too much jaywalking in Ghana, too much jaywalking in Ghana. We see people crossing at the wrong places, and well, we'll continue with our road safety advocacy. This is Skafui Day reporting from Dakwa Circle with my man,
Darrell Alantego. Thank you very much for staying with us.
And keep watching GTV Breakfast. God bless.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Olonya sitre no have mommy diabetes.